precaution. Not a party business that it...
Welcome to Salon for All and Voice for All Network Television.
Mes salons Famboulden, on a couché en Cabo. It's a message come from United for Saloon in collaboration with Salon for All and Voice for All Network Television. And also for me well body people them. Charlie,
Taliban. One sick don't come with a call corona. Say, ain't okay if you black or you white, it is spread it all over. So mama, papa, let me take the precautions. Not a party business, not attend this for caution. So number one for the was you and it's up. Now they touch your nose, now they touch your eyes, and now they touch your mouth. When you sick, now for stay na us. You want cough, now for cover your mouth. You want sneeze, now for cover your nose. Make we help for safe salon. Salon now we on, no place like home. One sick don't come with a call corona. Say, ain't okay if you black or you white, it is spread it all over. So mama, papa, let me take the precautions. Not a party business, that attend this for caution. Say, one sick don't come with a call corona. Say, ain't okay if you black or you white, it is spread it all over. So mama, papa, let me take the precautions. Not a party business, that it...
Welcome to Salon for All and Voice for All Network Television.
mes salons Famboulden, on a couché en Cabo. It's a message come from United for Saloon in collaboration with Salon for All and Voice for All Network Television. And also for me well body people them. Charlie,
Taliban. One sick don't come with a call corona. Say, ain't okay if you black or you white, it is spread it all over. So mama, papa, let me take the precautions. Not a party business, not attend this for caution. So number one for the was you and it's up. Now they touch your nose, now they touch your eyes, and now they touch your mouth. When you sick, now for stay na us. You want cough, now for cover your mouth. You want sneeze, now for cover your nose. Make we help for safe salon. Salon now we on, no place like home. One sick don't come with a call corona. Say, ain't okay if you black or you white, it is spread it all over. So mama, papa, let me take the precautions. Not a party business, that attend this for caution. Say, one sick don't come with a call corona. Say, ain't okay if you black or you white, it is spread it all over. So mama, papa, let me take the precautions. Not a party business, that it...
Welcome to Salon for All and Voice for All Network Television.
mes salons Famboulden, on a couché en Cabo. It's a message come from United for Saloon in collaboration with Salon for All and Voice for All Network Television. And also for me well body people them. Charlie,
Taliban. One sick don't come with a call corona. Say, ain't okay if you black or you white, it is spread it all over. So mama, papa, let me take the precautions. Not a party business, not attend this for caution. So number one for the was you and it's up. Now they touch your nose, now they touch your eyes, and now they touch your mouth. When you sick, now for stay na us. You want cough, now for cover your mouth. You want sneeze, now for cover your nose. Make we help for safe salon. Salon now we on, no place like home. One sick don't come with a call corona. Say, ain't okay if you black or you white, it is spread it all over. So mama, papa, let me take the precautions. Not a party business, that attend this for caution. precautions. Not a party business that it
Welcome to Salon for All and Voice for All Network Television.
Mes salon fambul dem, on a couché en cabo. It's a message come from United for Saloon in collaboration with Salon for All and Voice for All Network Television. And also for me well body people them. Charlie,
say, one sick don't come with a call corona. Say, ain't okay if you black or you white, it is spread it all over. So mama, papa, let me take the precautions. Not a party business, not the tennis for caution. So number one for the wash you on, it's up. Not the touch your nose, no, no. Not the touch your eyes, no, no. And not the touch your mouth. When you sick, not for stay, not us. You want cough, not for cover your mouth. You want sneeze, not for cover your nose. Make me help for safe salon. Salon now we on, no place like home. One sick don't come with a call corona. Say, ain't okay if you black or you white, it is spread it all over. So mama, papa, let me take the precautions. Not a party business, that the tennis for caution. Say, one sick don't come with a call corona. Say, ain't okay if you black or you white, it is spread it all over. So mama, papa, let me take the precautions. Not a party business, that it
Welcome to Salon for All and Voice for All Network Television.
mes salon fambul dem, on a couché en cabo. It's a message come from United for Saloon in collaboration with Salon for All and Voice for All Network Television. And also for me well body people them. Charlie,
say, one sick don't come with a call corona. Say, ain't okay if you black or you white, it is spread it all over. So mama, papa, let me take the precautions. Not a party business, not the tennis for caution. So number one for the wash you on, it's up. Now they touch your nose, no, no. Now they touch your eyes, no, no. And now they touch your mouth. When you sick, not for stay, not us. You want cough, not for cover your mouth. You want sneeze, not for cover your nose. Make me help for safe salon. Salon now we on, no place like home. One sick don't come with a call corona. Say, ain't okay if you black or you white, it is spread it all over. So mama, papa, let me take the precautions. Not a party business, that the tennis for caution. Say, one sick don't come with a call corona. Say, ain't okay if you black or you white, it is spread it all over. So mama, papa, let me take the precautions. Not a party business, that it
Welcome to Salon for All and Voice for All Network Television.
mes salon fambul dem, on a couché en cabo. It's a message come from United for Saloon in collaboration with Salon for All and Voice for All Network Television. And also for me well body people them. Charlie,
say, one sick don't come with a call corona. Say, ain't okay if you black or you white, it is spread it all over. So mama, papa, let me take the precautions. Not a party business, not the tennis for caution. So number one for the wash you on, it's up. Now they touch your nose, no, no. Now they touch your eyes, no, no. And now they touch your mouth. When you sick, not for stay, not us. You want cough, not for cover your mouth. You want sneeze, not for cover your nose. Make me help for safe salon. Salon now we on, no place like home. One sick don't come with a call corona. Say, ain't okay if you black or you white, it is spread it all over. So mama, papa, let me take the precautions. Not a party business, that attendance for caution. Say, one sick don't come with a cloud corona. Say, ain't okay if you black or you white, it is spread it all over. So mama, papa, let me take the precautions. Not a party business, that it
Welcome to Salon for All and Voice for All Network Television.
Mes salon fambul dem, on a couché en cabo. It's a message come from United for Saloon in collaboration with Salon for All and Voice for All Network Television. And also for me well body people them. Charlie, Taliban.
one sick don't come with a call corona. Say, ain't okay if you black or you white, it is spread it all over. So mama, papa, let me take the precautions. Not a party business, that attendance for caution. So number one for the was you on, it's up. Not the touch you know, no, not the touch you.
Greetings, fellow Sierra Leonean and viewers beyond the Sierra Leone community. Welcome to Salon. Greetings, fellow Sierra Leonean and viewers beyond the Sierra Leone community. Welcome to Salon for All, Voice for All Network Television. I am your host, Khadija Tijan Nabi. I'll pause here for now to give my guests the opportunity to introduce herself. Dear Miss Conte, come on in right away so we can land to our today's interview. It is an honor and a pleasure to have you with us here tonight. Welcome once again. Take this opportunity to introduce yourself, Madam.
Thank you so much, Khadija. Good evening to you all. I hope you all are doing well. I hope you all are safe. My name is Itola Conte, the daughter of retired Major Paulo Conte, and I am going to address some facts today as far as everything going on with my father's treason case, with his life, things leading up to what happened, and you know, just trying to be as open and transparent as I can be as far as what I know.
It is a pleasure once again to have you, and of course, may I say that I love the British accent. I call it the best of both worlds. Sierra Leone meets British, correct?
That's right. Yep.
Anyhow, so we are trying to make the best out of a very awful situation. So at the end of the day, welcome once again. Many would like to know for you to take this opportunity. First of all, I want you to feel at home. I want you to feel like we're in a beach somewhere in Florida. We're just having a girls' talk, so please feel free, feel at home and feel comfortable. All right. Give us an insight of who Miss Attila Conte is. After our creator, who your father is. After our creator, no one is better know your dad other than look at me, I'm lost for word.
It's okay, you have this.
I'm telling you, who knows your father better than you yourself? So take this opportunity to give us an insight of who retired Major Paulo Conte is.
Okay, so my father is, as you all know, a militant man. Mm-hmm. He grew up in Sierra Leone, went to school in Wilberforce, and actually now lives in Wilberforce. He was born to strict and upright parents. My grandparents' names are Patamba and Mami Ruko Siaba. That's actually where I got my name from.
Okay.
My grandmother, yeah. And after school, my father went into the military. He trained in Egypt and was in the, he ran in the military. He ran in the military and he also ran in school. Received quite a few medals. Till this day, extremely athletic.
Yeah.
And is a given individual, a given kind individual that went into the Sierra Leone Army in 1976 till 1997. And whilst he was in the military, he was officer commanding the military police. He later obtained the rank of major, and shortly after moved to the UK, where he went to school. He obtained a bachelor's degree in law, a master's degree in law, and went to law school. Practiced law in the UK. My father was practicing immigration law, and then was called to Sierra Leone to serve as Minister of Defense under President Koroma, Ernest B. Koroma. And he was Minister of Defense from 2007, I believe, up until 2014. After serving as the Minister of Defense, he became the Ebola Czar, as we know, in 2014. The horrible, horrible virus of Ebola hit Sierra Leone, and it hit it very hard. There was a serious epidemic, and President Koroma found it fit to make my father the CEO of the Ebola response team. And I think one of the things that made him successful as the Ebola Czar was the fact that even though he's not a medical professional, has never been a medical professional, he knew his limitations. He knew his limitations, so he knew that he had to seek advice from the medical advisors and the medical professionals. And I believe that that was his success and Sierra Leone's success as far as eradicating Ebola. So after 2014 to 16, he was the Ebola Czar. And then shortly after, in 2016, he became the Minister of Internal Affairs. And, you know, this was an interesting time, because I remember going back home to Sierra Leone and having conversations with my father. I remember him saying to me that at that time, whilst he was Minister of Internal Affairs, there were a lot of cliques and gangs. So the British and the American government were sending over individuals, deportees, that had lived in the UK, lived in America for amount of years, and unfortunately some of them became involved in gangs, and when they got deported, they in turn tried to take that same culture to Sierra Leone. And you know, as some of us are aware, that's not necessarily our struggle in Sierra Leone. You know, we have, our main struggles are infant mortality rates, poverty, education. But gangs, that wasn't necessarily something that Sierra Leoneans were known to have a struggle or an issue with. So there was a rise in gang wars, and I remember my father had cleaned. What's the thing called?
The Gollers, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes. He had cleaned it, and I remember there was an uproar, an ultimate uproar in Sierra Leone. People were sending me messages from around the world that, you know, what is your dad doing, and so on and so forth. Because there were, I think he said that maybe there were 10 condemned individuals. And
so I think, let me help you there for a minute. I think at that time, it was his mission, or his goal was for them for him to kind of like scare them, not necessarily to put it into action. So I think that's what you were gearing towards. So basically, being the internal affairs minister at that time, or defense minister, his goal was to make sure that the safety of Sierra Leone was a priority than anything else, and to discourage this gangs related or clique related group to, you know, for them to shy away from things that were not beneficial to the country as a whole. I think that's where you were trying to get towards.
Right, that is. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. But yes, I was saying that because they were condemned individuals, you know, people were scared and thought that there was going to be an execution. However, Sierra Leoneans are smart. Sierra Leoneans are very smart. And just from the cleaning of that machine. My father told me years ago, I wish I had the correct numbers. I was saying to myself today as I was prepping for this meeting that I wish I could speak to him. But he had told me years ago that the killings, the gang killings, the gang wars, the color wars went from maybe say 100 stabbings a day to 25 stabbings a day, to 10 stabbings a day, to 5 stabbings a day, to none. You know, and I think that that's something that a lot of people didn't know. A lot of people just saw that he had cleaned the machine and thought, oh no, what is he doing? However, that's all it took for the gang wars to cease in Sierra Leone. And he actually received an award from President Koroma for his work as far as the gang wars and as far as the motorbikes, the Okadas. As some of us may know, he also refused for the Okadas to go into the city because they were also causing issues. They were causing an increase in deaths, accidents, because unfortunately, you know, some of them were reckless, some of them didn't have licenses. I remember one day we went out and my dad stopped the car and he was stopping Okada boys and making sure they had helmets. And it was so interesting to me because, you know, in the Western world, these are things that we take for granted. You know, these are things that we know that we're supposed to have helmets and we know we're only supposed to have a certain limit, a certain amount of individuals on a bike, on a motorbike. However, because the laws are a little lax in Africa, in Sierra Leone, you would see individuals with 3 people on a motorbike. Nobody has a helmet on. So he enforced security, which in turn, again, decreased the number of accidents and deaths because they were forced to wear helmets. Their passengers were forced to wear helmets, and they were not allowed to go into town. You know, they were given a separate route that they could pick up people, but they weren't allowed to go into the busy section of town. And, you know, it made a difference. It made a difference.
So wonderful. So you touch on safety equipment that was necessary to decrease the fatality in terms of motos. What is it called? Okada.
Yes.
Bike riders. Now let's get back to. I want us to rewind a little bit. As you know, today I did reach out to you again this afternoon when I disseminated the flyers. There was a lot of folks that came after our station saying that your father never went to law school, so on and so forth. So I want you to take it systematically, take your time, and please educate those that may not necessarily aware of his many achievements, which one of those were him being part of the barrister at law, where he earned his degree in United Kingdom. So take your time and explain that again in detail, that he has 3 different degrees that give him the rights to call himself as part of the barrister at law. So come back in on that before we go further.
So it's interesting. It's very interesting how individuals that don't know him can claim that he didn't go to law school or has no law degree. That's untrue, unfactual. He, in fact, not only does he have a law degree, but he has a master's in law. And as we know, you don't need to obtain a master's degree in order to get a law degree.
Yes.
And I believe he went to Holborn University in London.
Yes.
And that's where he acquired his degree.
Yes. Wonderful.
Yeah, so he indeed has a bachelor's.
So I wanted to make that, for us to clear the hair, because if we are trying to be a credible platform, we want to make sure that we go back and give clarity to our audience. Because I had so many attacks from, it's just a Photoshop, or anyone can wear a cap and gown and claim a degree, whatever the case may be. But it's rather unfortunate, I believe that when Sierra Leoneans like your father have earn those type of degree, we should celebrate and call it a blessing for the Republic of Sierra Leone, but not be one of those that will basically frown on the blessing or the achievement of another Sierra Leonean. Having said that, thank you for making clarity on that. Many will refer to your father as a disciplinarian, similarly to some of the things that you've explained here, and even some of the members of or the supporter of the current administration can attest to the fact that during his tenure as defense minister or minister of internal affairs, he was able to crack down on gang-related issue, decrease the level of criminality or criminal activities. How does that make you feel to know that your father has contributed immensely towards maintaining stability and national cohesion?
Oh my God. It definitely makes me proud. It makes me want to achieve more. Like, my father has definitely set a good ground for me to follow and even surpass. I must say, I wasn't too surprised because my father was a strict man, is a strict man at home, maybe not so much now as an adult, but as a child, there were certain things that we had to follow. We had to read every day, no matter how tedious I found it. We had to read, had to do math, had to be in bed by a certain time. And, I remember my father just spoke in such a stern voice that I had a healthy fear of him. So I'm not surprised. I do recall when he first became Minister of Defense in 2007, and he was telling me how he would go to the office, being so militant, he would go to the office at 8 a.m. every day. And of course, the workers would stroll in at 10, 10:30, 11 o'clock, and they had to be at work 8:30, 9 o'clock. And they weren't used to having their manager, boss, or whomever there before them, or even physically there.
Yes.
So, of course, he built enemies to just put in structure in place. He told me that even to the extent that some places had ghost employees that were on the books and that were getting paid. Yes. And weren't there, never went to work. So again, of course, he built enemies because there's always a small population of people who benefit from wrong, benefit from evil. Even if you are doing something for the greater good, there are going to be those that like the horror, that like the unorganized world that they work in. And who he was at home is exactly who he is at work. Who he was as Minister of Defense, Ebola, Minister of Internal Affairs. That's exactly who he was and still is at home. Like I said, it might be a little more relaxed now because I'm an adult.
I love that. So when you speak about your dad, me being a daddy's girl as well, having to do with my late dad, I can relate to so many things that you just submit to the general public, having to do with, my father was a disciplinarian, a man who loves his family, but at the same time he doesn't, when you talk about the time, when we have specific time for everything. You have to learn certain vocabulary for the week. You have to know those vocabulary, the definition of those vocabularies, and certain time, if you're not in bed, you will get disciplined, whatever it is, when I would say you go pump, or whatever the case may be. So, of course, like how you say, with that kind of attitude, you work with people that way maybe not as disciplined as they are. Of course, you go win a lot of enemies at the end of the day because they are used to being that nonchalant attitude where they go, like you gave the example of them walking to their assigned duty at 2 hours later when they are supposed to be there. 2 hours or 2.5 hours earlier. So having said that, I can definitely relate to what you just say and why some people go, looking at say, oh, if difficult or a bad person or whatever the case may be. Because when you're disciplined and you're strict, you're considered anything else but your real you. So let's go back to that fateful day in question, prior to your dad accepting or honoring the invitation of the sitting president, wherein the aim was to find strategic ways on how we can combat the fight against the COVID-19. Did you speak to your dad prior to him attending that meeting to begin with?
I did. I did. And
Okay.
actually, last time I spoke to my dad, I believe was on the 19th, the day in question.
Okay. So
Yeah.
did he reach out to you as a child to get your opinion on whether he should honor the invitation or not?
The 19th of March. No, he definitely did not reach out.
Okay. So let's
Um,
take us step by step. What happened that day for us to get better understanding, for those that may be going with the preconceived notion or misconception about your dad and this entire saga coming back there.
So, so it all started on the 16th of March, 2020. My father was invited by President Bio. However, it wasn't because President Bio wanted my father's help or because of my father's expertise whilst dealing with Ebola. It was because what is it called? The International Health.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I have a block right now.
It's okay, we will understand. Mr. Sabinde, I did try for think what if
Yes,
it comes
yes,
to mind,
yes.
I will come in with it. It's fine. So one of the international world or organization kind of intervene and advise him to basically join the force, right?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, no, advice BO to
Okay.
my father
Okay.
join the force because of his expertise whilst dealing with a virus, Ebola virus,
Yes.
and because of his execution, because he executed so well. So, the international world said, well, why don't you have him on board? Have him on board to help, since this is a pandemic.
So basically, they were trying to encourage bipartisan approach.
Yes.
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 Okay.
Yes. So on the 16th, he was invited to State House, and he had a meeting, and it was him, President Bio, and a few others. We, of course, had accepted the position. On the 17th of March 2020, him and the Minister of Health had gone to Lunge to just see where they can implement sanitation stands and, just make sure that people going in and out of the airport would be properly sanitized and just, put things in order that they had for Ebola. The next meeting, which was the second meeting with the president, that was March the 19th. My father had again gone to State House. So he was already involved. He had meetings. There were pictures out there. They had began working together, discussing things, physically trying to implement things. So the third meeting was the 19th of March, 2020. And my father went to State House to again have another meeting with the president. And when he got there, I was told that, again, because I have not been able to speak to my father since, I believe, the 19th of March, I was told, that there were individuals, those of us that have been to Sierra Leone, we know how, everybody is an entrepreneur. Everybody doesn't have a job, so you create a job, whether it is, I will wash cars for individuals that drive by. I will help carry bags for individuals that need help. That's how people hustle. That's how people make a standard of living every day so that they can eat. So he had gone to State House and they had asked him to clean his car. And, as we know, people can be persuasive, especially civilians. They have, when they love you, they have so much heart. They have so much heart. If you could, you would give them anything. And I believe his car was clean. My father is a very clean individual, very. he keeps his house clean, he keeps his car clean. So I don't believe that he went to State House and his car was filthy. However, just to give the young men something to do, and also to allow them, because I'm sure they felt honored, to allow them to wash his car and give them some for it. He removed his wallet and his pistol bag, just so that nobody would be tempted to break into the car or go into his car and steal the gun. More so the gun than the money. So he took it into State House. He declared his weapon. I repeat, he declared his weapon, even though security told him that he should take it up with him, take it upstairs to his meeting with the president. He refused. He refused. He said that he was not going to take the bag upstairs because he knows protocol. He knows State House protocol. Again, they were trying to persuade him to take the bag upstairs, and he left the bag downstairs. He went upstairs for his meeting, was up there waiting for about 45 minutes, and then the head of security came up and asked whose bag and whose gun it was, and he said it was his, and he was questioned and interviewed, and then sent home. An individual that the state, the SLPP government, is accusing of treason. You sent him home. You sent him home to go and relax and sleep, to be a free citizen. It doesn't make sense. He went home and I'm sure he did his nightly routine, ate, showered, didn't think anything of it, because he was told to return the next day and go and pick up his weapon. To go and pick up his weapon. I must say that in the bag with his pistol, he had all his licenses. All the paperwork required, needed for him to legally carry a gun, he had in the bag. And the next day, he was, quote unquote, invited. CID went to his house. He was invited back to CID, or invited to CID, not back. And, they said they wanted to question him some more and then give him back his weapon. Of course, when he got there, they arrested him. They arrested him and they detained him for 10 days, unlawfully detained him for 10 days without any charge. Because, of course, during this period, I'm sure they were trying to come up with something that they could charge him with. They've been after my father. The SLPP government have been after my father for a while now. One of the videos that I posted on Facebook, it was a video that he had recorded, I believe it was about a year ago, last year, August. And he basically just broke down, step by step, how the SLPP government have been harassing him, whether it is going to his house and putting yellow and black caution tape around his house, whether it was 2 Decembers ago, arresting him again for 3 days, no charge, another unlawful arrest, arresting him for 3 days, going to his house and saying that he had guns. Meanwhile, he had tents outside his house. And I didn't know this because I'm not militant, but anybody that is knows that you don't keep guns outside. Guns will rot, they will go bad. You cannot keep guns outside, especially, in Africa where it rains, tropical storms. And the boxes had no guns, none whatsoever, no ammunition. When they went into the boxes, they found out that they were tents, but yet still they arrested him. They found out that there were tents in the boxes. And it's just been one thing after another. Unlawful arrests, taking his house, going to his house. They took his car, and they said that they were looking at his car for forensic.
I think
I don't know.
the video you were talking about, I can also concur that because I also shared it about a month or so on our Facebook page, wherein he was given detail of what he has already experienced with the sitting
Right.
with the current government, from, like you said, from one allegation to another, taking him to CID, from there
Yeah.
accusing him, and all he has managed, obviously, to answer to all those questions, and to the satisfaction of the current administration, but yet still they find something else to call him back. Okay, having said that, I want you to take your time to give the audience an idea of what your father's personality is like. I can see that, most of the time we see him as a disciplined man that is very hard to smile. But when I went through your pictorial on Facebook, I noticed that, of course, there's a soft side of him. So I want you to give us a detail of that soft side of that man, of things that maybe we may not necessarily know of him. Is that a person that you think will get to the point will get to a point where he's so angry to the point that he will want to do any harm to an individual? Have you ever seen him in that type of manner, or never that? So I want you to give us a better and a brighter picture of who retired Major Paulo Conte is. Come back in.
So, my father is soft-spoken, gentle. Even though he's strict, he's very gentle. And to answer your question, no, I could not see my father getting to the stage where he becomes enraged or angry that he wants to kill an individual. And sidebar, I must say that I regret to say this. However, the current government, the current SLPP government, is failing the people. Why would you assassinate a failing government? Like, it doesn't make sense. Most of the time, people are jealous of, people go after those that are successful. People don't go after individuals that don't have anything to show. So no, he definitely did not want to kill Bigelow. And I must say, I honestly do not believe that anybody in their right frame of mind believes that my dad wanted to kill Bigelow. I don't think anybody does. I think people are pushing the propaganda. I think that people that don't like him, this is a quote-unquote reason to get him. But I don't think even SLPP supporters, I don't think anybody believes that his intent was to kill anybody, let alone the president. With everything that my father has worked hard to obtain and accomplish, you don't throw that away to try and assassinate a president. And how do you assassinate a president whilst your gun is downstairs and you're upstairs?
Great one.
I don't get it.
I think that's a great question. That's a great one. And I want you to go further with that statement. Many Sierra Leoneans will agree with you to say that it is obvious that his intention to take the gun was maybe, obviously, he had it in his possession, and this is his normal routine, whatever the case may be. And like you stated earlier, he did not want it to, as a responsible individual, he felt like it was not the right decision to leave it in the car for the wrong person to, put their hands on the gun, which at the end of the day, he will be held accountable. Then, on the other hand, some set of Sierra Leoneans, and I want you to come back in and answer to those Sierra Leoneans that are trying to give a picture that really does not exist from your point of view. For those that think that he has an intention to go there and cause any mayhem, what would you say to those Sierra Leoneans? Like you said, those that are in their right state of mind would never even think that your father is an individual that will be capable of whatever the allegation is being said about him. So come back in on that.
Well, I would ask the individuals that are pushing the propaganda to be objective. To be objective and think. with everything that has gone for, as far as evidence, as far as I don't want to go too much into the court case because I'm assuming we will get to that later on, right?
Yes, absolutely.
But,
Yes.
as far as things that the witnesses have said, lies that have been caught during cross-examination from the defense team. I think that unfortunately, sometimes as Africans, and my uncle said this to me whilst in Sierra Leone in December. He said, unfortunately, as Africans like to see their leaders suffer. After their leaders have led the country, they like to see their leaders suffer. And I don't know why. I don't know if it's envy or the thought that, well, you were doing well and you had it all, and now you are on our level. I'm not sure what the mentality is. But I just ask people to be objective and ask questions, test the validity. As we know on the internet, you can put anything out there. You don't have to be specialized in an area to speak on it. You can spew out any type of foolishness, any nonsense. Test the validity of what you're hearing. Test the truth. May I go back and address my father? Because I kind of sidebarred off of his personality.
Yes, please do.
So it's interesting because I don't see my father as a confrontational individual. My father is strict, addresses things, but as far as misbehaving, loudness, drama, that's not who he is. That's not who he taught me to be. That's not who he raised us to be. And even when the SLPP government took over and they won the election, my father sat home quietly as a citizen of Sierra Leone, was not oppressing or speaking out about the SLPP government. However, because they are obsessed with him, they continue to poke and prod and go after him. He sat home peacefully, relaxing after serving his country for 10 consecutive years. He was relaxed. He's a funny individual. The things he says, oh my God, I couldn't think them up. Like sometimes he'll crack a joke and I'd look at him in awe, like, how did you think that up? Where did you get that from? But he's a very down to earth. He means business. He wants well for Sierra Leone. He loves, oh my God, loves Sierra Leone. A true patriot of Sierra Leone. Again, wants well, he means business, but he's such a laid-back individual. A very laid-back, kind individual. I know that people have messaged me over the past few weeks and have said thank you because he paid tuition, school fees for individuals that needed it, for individuals that had no fathers. You know, these were the types of things that he did when he was defense. He would organize football games in his compound for anybody that wants to come and play football. Play football, have some drinks, relax. Come to my house and play football. We'll have a good time, and we'll do it again another time. You know, how many people open up their house without the fear of, you know, somebody saying something or planting something or the fear of somebody attacking them? My dad would do that often. He's loving. He's loving, he's kind. Again, funny individual.
I think many Sierra Leoneans will agree with you in terms of his love and passion for Sierra Leone. Reason being, if he happens to be a British citizen, I believe that when his political party lost the election, he also have the chance of going back to England, stay there for the next X amount of years, instead of staying in Sierra Leone. So many will agree with you in that area. But have you ever talked to him about that? as to advising him, can you take a break, go to England for the next 5 years or 10 years, especially during the time when they kept calling him back and forth for question with CID and so on and so forth. Have you ever had that type of conversation with him?
I have, and I didn't want to persuade him to go back to England or the States. I just wanted to hear his heart. So I just listened to what he had to say. And his standpoint was, I'm a Sierra Leonean. I'm a Sierra Leonean. I have worked hard for my country. I have done nothing wrong. So I'm going to go home and enjoy my country. And yes, there were multiple people, so many people advised him to stay in the UK or to go to the UK, to stay in America. And he refused. He went on vacation and he returned back to his home, to his homeland. And he said that when the what is it called? There was something that the government inquiry, something of inquiry.
Okay. Yes. Commission of inquiry.
There you go. Thank you.
Yes.
The commission of inquiry
It's over.
was right, but they were going to start
Okay.
at I think it was the beginning of this year
Yeah.
or last year, the beginning of last year, I believe it was. And he said he's going to go and he's going to answer all their questions because he's declared all his assets. He says he has nothing to hide,
Wonderful.
nothing to hide. So he never ran.
Mm-hmm.
He went back to Sierra Leone even after he served and lived as a peaceful citizen.
So many, with your submission, many will agree that for a man that is guilty would have took that opportunity to run away. But for a man that knows that he's clean and he has nothing underneath his sleeve to hide, it's the reason why he decided to stay in hope that you have peace of mind and enjoy his beloved Mama Salone. So let's go back to that fateful day wherein they made the decision now. First, it was like, go home, come back and get your ammunition. Oh, yeah, you're okay. Then go upstairs, conduct the meeting, successful meeting. Now go home. And he did declare his weapon, whatever the case may be. Now he felt like, okay, everything is at rest. I'm going to go back to my norm. And my goal is to join hands on voice with the sitting president and the sitting administration to see that we combat this deadly pandemic. Now, unfortunately, that all came to pass. Let's go back to that day wherein they said, well, now we are going to keep you in custody and now we are going to charge you for treason. That's not something that we can take lightly. How did you feel that day? And how did you feel as a daughter, as an individual that know a disciplinarian, a person that have given his entirety to the country that he loves, 10 years, where he helped with the criminality or the gang related issue, where he tend to decrease the number from what it was to where he left the country, where national cohesion was, or stability was more far way different than what we're seeing now from one cases to another. So how did that make you feel? And what really, how did you feel? We want to know, or how did your family feel that day? Or what was that conversation before they finally took him in? What was that conversation you and him had?
I believe we all were shocked. We all were extremely shocked because the allegations are so far-fetched that it's like, wait, this is a capital case. How do you go from wanting or being forced to work with an individual to accusing them of treason? And I'm not sure, but I would say on average around the world, treason is one of the highest crimes. No matter what part of the world you go into, you could come across a mass murder, an individual that attempts treason or commits treason against their country. That's like the highest. That's higher than a mass murderer. So we were shocked. Honestly, I believe that we thought that they were going to play their games like they have been doing, detain him for a short period and let him go just to try and cause some type of intimidation, try and cause some type of harassment. We had no idea that they were going to go that far-fetched. We had no idea that they were going to make a mockery of themselves, a mockery of the judiciary system by accusing a person of treason with no evidence. You know, I don't even think, realistically, I don't even think my father thought they were capable of such. It was too far-fetched. It was too far-fetched, never made sense. And again, no evidence whatsoever. So we were definitely shocked to the core.
Let's touch that.
What they were coming for.
Let's touch on evidence. As you know, one of the the thing that they have made emphasis on, or the defense lawyer from on your father's side have request for, was the CCTV footage or camera, right?
Yes.
Let's talk about that, and now let's go into the court. Okay, as we know, United States of America or anywhere in the world, you're innocent until proven guilty. But what we tend to see now, not only Sierra Leone, in Africa as a whole, we tend to see that Sierra Leoneans or individuals are held as criminals or held as being guilty before even the due process. So now let's talk about the CCTV footage or camera and the proceeding in court. Let's talk about that.
So as far as the CCTV, I believe the defense team had requested it at the magistrate court, and they said that the Supreme Court should make that decision. As of last week, a few days ago, whilst in court, the judge decided that the president should make the call as to whether or not the tape should be seen. And, you know, I've said this before and I emphasize it. We all know that crucial evidence are on those CCTV tapes. You know, I recall when the case first started, the state, the SLPP government said that there was no light. Can you see how much of a mockery this is? There was no electricity in the state house. So after being questioned by the defense team, the head of security a few days ago stated that there was light and there is a CCTV footage. And my thing is, if we all know, it's not a secret, the SLPP government is, I would say, intimidated by my father. Other than that, why else do they continue to go after an innocent man? If you have evidence to lock a person up, again, treason is not a small crime. I believe in Sierra Leone, if you are found guilty of treason, it's death by a firing squad.
Wow.
Tremendous, yes. It's not a crime. We're not playing. This is somebody's life we're talking about. You know, this is my family we're talking about. If you have evidence to implement an individual that you claim is trying to kill your president, you would show it, right?
Correct.
You would put it forth for the people to see, like, oh yeah, we finally got you. We caught you. We caught your hands in the cookie jar, and now we are going to show the whole world. But because the state knows that they have lied time and time again, and because they have been caught in their lie, they refuse to show the CCTV footage. And it's bizarre, because in this day and age, in 2020, where we see how technology is so useful, look at what happened to George Floyd. It was a simple cell phone that showed from beginning to end how tragic that George lost his life. But yet still in Sierra Leone, you have a capital case and you refuse to show the tapes that you claim?
Great question. Great statement, I should say. because the one with George Floyd, it was coming from a bystander that happens to be a citizen, and yet still they hold that as of course, authentic evidence. Wherein now we have another authentic evidence in State House, or yeah, wherein the case will be easy for Sierra Leonean or the judge to determine whether it was an intention to go there and cause me harm, or it was an honest mistake wherein he didn't think of anything but rather to say that I have my weapon, which I guess I assume you know him better than us. This is just his normal routine, right, with the then administration, and now he always have it in his possession. Let us, give us an insight on that.
So, I have been told that Sierra Leone usually, whenever an individual is no longer, you have served as Minister of Defense, President, and I believe Vice President, VP. Whenever you are no longer serving in that office or that position, you are granted security. However, the SLPP government took away his security. Not only did they take his security away, they had taken away the ex-president's security. Can you imagine that? I don't know anywhere in the world. It's so uncivilized where you would think it's okay for you to take away security from a person who holds the highest position in the country. You know, talking about the president. So because of that, because of course, my dad has created enemies. He put structure in the military, in the police, in the city. He has created many enemies. So unfortunately, because the SLPP removed his security that he's supposed to have, that's the reason why he got himself a licensed pistol and was going around with it.
And make an emphasis on that for Sierra Leonean to understand, and viewers beyond the Sierra Leone community to understand that this was not an illegal weapon. It was something that he followed all due process as a man that is disciplined and that knows that he has to follow all due process for him to have one in his possession. So please give us clarity on that. Was it something that was unlicensed, or was just something that he just decided, you know, to go and buy at the street corner, or whatever the case may be, or he did follow all due process? Come back in there.
Yes, he definitely followed all due process. The gun was always licensed. Again, it was just another lie, another propaganda from the SLPP government. Because just this week in court, a few days ago, now all of a sudden, they know that the gun is licensed after 2 months. What changed? What changed that the gun wasn't licensed in March, but is now licensed in June? Nothing changed. They just got caught in their lies.
The other
So
thing
that's something that they put out.
Okay, wonderful. The other thing I wanted you to make clarity on was there was alleged case wherein the gentleman that licensed his gun was also arrested and taken for question. Is that true or not?
Yes, it is true. It is true. And I
Wow.
believe that he's also standing treason charges.
Wow. But how is
Yes.
that the case if he is also entitled as a former state defense minister? Like you said, he was also entitled to security. But if he was not given security, he went through the correct process to make sure that he had ammunition just in case he needs it, or whatever the case may be. So if he followed all due process, why was that other individual held accountable or being placed under the same allegation as that of your father? Sierra Leone will wonder.
And you know what's so interesting is that is a phenomenal question. I don't think anywhere else in the world they would do such. Nowhere else in the world would they arrest. I believe it's 3 other individuals.
Wow.
Yes, that they would arrest for doing their jobs, all in hopes again of taking down one man. of trying to take down my father, you have now incarcerated three other individuals, three innocent individuals for doing their job. And now, again, 2 months later, now you say the pistol was licensed. So then why do you still have those other individuals held? Why are you still unlawfully detaining those other individuals? Like, again, these are questions that the Sierra Leone people should be asking. You know, they should be asking, where is the justice? Where are the human rights? You know, these are questions we should be asking around the world, because it makes no sense whatsoever. None. You know, the case doesn't make sense. The state knows it doesn't make sense, but yet still people jump on the bandwagon, even though the facts are coming out day by day. The facts are coming out that the government lied about not having light at State House because they didn't want to show the CCTV. So they were caught in that lie, which proves to their lack of integrity. It proves to their lack of integrity and lack of wanting to get to the truth, unwillingness to get to the truth. You lie about a light. You lie about a pistol not being licensed. What else could the state be lying about? Do we ask those questions? Could they be lying that my father, in fact, didn't go in with the intent to commit treason?
Excellent. Well stated. Now, let's talk about human rights violation and justice, just like you mentioned. Several times on this platform, I have touched on human rights violation, one of which was directly geared towards your father's current situation. It was alleged that there was a time wherein he wasn't allowed newspaper, he wasn't allowed to change his clothing. And I made an example of that of an individual that is on death row here in the United States or different part of the world, where even at the last minute, if they are to be killed, whether it's electrocution or whatever the case may be, their last wish, if they decide that they want to eat McDonald's, they'll give them that last wish. You understand?
Right.
Connect that to in the case of your father, wherein that even if someone is guilty, in his case, he's still yet not found guilty, but he's in the process. But when it comes to human right violation, his human right, he's allowed to get his basic necessity. That is the right to his lawyer, the right to clean clothing, the right to his daily meal, the right to his basic need, the right to his family visitation. Here in the United States, people that are behind bar, they have people that call them, that visit them. So is that true that at some point he was not allowed to even have engagement to his lawyer, his defense team, to also, you know, there was a time when they said his appearance in court was very poor, in terms of his weight as well, deteriorated. So I want you to give us an insight on that. How true is that?
Yes, it's very true. Till this day, as we speak, they are still, the SLPP government is still infringing on my father's human rights. You know, he's still not allowed to go out and get fresh air. He's still not given books or time in the library. You know, I think that the sad part is, the shame of it is because the government, the SLPP government, have been infringing on people's human rights for so long, it has become the norm. People expect it and see it as the norm. They don't see it as a problem. The government falsely incarcerates people. I have had so many people, the first move that I made, first move me and my family was to send out a petition. I could not tell you, Khadija, the amount of people that messaged me and said, thank you so much. I want to sign your petition, but I can't. I'm scared. I'm
So
scared
sad.
that my name might come up. Yes, in 2020. Yes, I'm scared. I spoke to an individual. I have so many Facebook friends now. They're about to become family. I spoke to an individual this morning that messaged me on Facebook, and he said to me, I'm not feeling too well. And I said, oh, what is it, malaria? And he's like, how did you know? And I said, I know it's popular in Sierra Leone. And he told me that he was scared to go to the hospital and get basic malaria treatment because he thought that the SLPP, or he believed, as we know they are doing, the SLPP thugs would kill him and turn it into a COVID-19 case. This is how the SLPP government is infringing on people's human rights. As we know, sidebar, Sylvia Blyden, rearrested for posting on Facebook. Is that a law that she cannot post?
That's one thing I want us to get into a little later. Excellent. So let's go back. I want you to really give us a clear picture, and then also fast forward. And if that's the case, with what I've heard with the last time he appeared in court, there was good news in the sense that the judge decided that he will give him his basic human rights, where he advised that he should be able to have access to his basic needs, which is that true also, or is it not true? Come back in.
Yes, I did hear that the judge did say that they should get water. It doesn't get any more basic than water. They should be given water and proper food. I saw another individual, I think it was Mr. Hughes, and he has lost so much weight. I'm not sure what they are feeding them, but they're not getting basic food. Things that they can afford to give, but they choose not to, again, in hopes of intimidating, in hopes of breaking these individuals down. And another human rights violation is my father's wife.
Yeah.
They took her away over a month ago and had her incarcerated, unlawfully detained for 31 days. They said that the allegation was that she had ammunition. She had a bullet. She had a bullet. That was what she spent 31 days in prison for. Knowing that her husband, the individual that she lives with, has a licensed gun. So could the bullet be his? Or do they know this? However, they just want to infringe on her human rights. To add insult to injury, she went to court last week, went to court the week before also. And the state did not show up both times. The state was not present. After you have locked this woman up for 31 days, again, infringed on her human rights. You ask her to go to court, she goes. Abuse of power. This is strictly abuse of power. You ask her to go to court, she goes, and you don't show up. It's foolishness.
So, even though it is his right, and we really shouldn't command anyone to do the right thing, but I'm going to take this opportunity to say thank you for that judge that came out of whatever is, I don't know what I'll say, what term I will use, but basically coming back to reality, to know that while he's patiently waiting to be free from this allegation, he also have the right to good clothing, to clean clothing,
Yes.
food, and so on and so forth. The other question that I have, as you mentioned, Dr. Sylvia Olainka Blyden, we understand in her case wherein the young man Muksin went there to deliver food for her. At the end of the day, he was also arrested and he was behind bar for a while and released. Right. So, in regards to your dad, are they allowing family member to go there now that the judge has allowed him to have the basic necessity and his right as a human being? Are you guys, is the family member, let's say the wife or whoever, are they allowed now to bring him food?
No. even when he was at CID, I learned that in Sierra Leone, family members can take food every day and take a change of clothing. They denied my father that. So this day, family members cannot take food to him.
Now let's go back to that awful day of the Pademba Road saga, wherein, unfortunately, and before I go further, let's take a moment of silence for those that lost their lives that day. May their soul rest in peace. And I'm trying to hold back tears. So that fateful day, social media is powerful. Powerful. It could be on a negative aspect or a positive aspect.
Yes.
Me not being his immediate family, I know what I felt when I heard so many rumors of him or possibly being killed or him being transferred from one prison to another location in the provinces, and all this type of saga that was going on social media. How did you feel that time when you did not know? It was like living with the uncertainty. How did you feel as a daughter or family as a whole, your brother, how, or his immediate family, his wife, and well, his wife was obviously behind bar that time, I assume, correct?
No, she got arrested that day.
Oh wow, wow. So now,
After the saga.
okay.
After the failed saga.
Wow. Oh, I see. So there was also allegation or alleged that okay, well, he must have been killed, and they did not want the wife to know. Hence the reason why she was arrested, all that type of thing. How did you feel that time, not knowing the truth or the safety of your father? How did you feel at that moment?
Horrible.
Yeah.
Absolutely horrible. And I remember waking up that morning to a bunch of WhatsApp messages and calls and text messages. And people wanted to know what happened. People wanted to know, was he dead?
God forbid.
And yeah, people wanted to know, was my father dead? People were telling me, I heard your father's dead. And it was heartbreaking. It was heartbreaking because we all knew, especially my family, we all knew that this SLPP government were after him. So what better way to try and execute whatever it is, whatever evil that they want to execute whilst he is in their custody. So we had no idea, none. It was, I think, more so the worst feeling in the world, more so worse than the day we found out that he got charged with treason and 16 other counts. That day was worse.
So now, during that saga of the Pademba Road, where many Sierra Leoneans lost their lives, was his lawyer, his defense team, were they able to get in touch with him at that time?
No.
Wow.
That day, after the Pademba massacre, that's what I call it, because it wasn't a riot.
Yes.
It wasn't a fire. It was a setup. It was a massacre. After the Pademba massacre, they scooped my father and the other 3 political prisoners up, and they refused to let the family or even the lawyers know where he was being held, where any of them were being held. Again, a violation of their human rights. He is allowed to seek counsel. His lawyers are supposed to know. If they transfer their client, the lawyers are supposed to know. These individuals had him for, oh God, I can't remember the dates, more than 10 days, and they refused. more than 2 weeks, maybe roughly about 3 weeks. And they refused to let any of us know what was going on, where they were, if they were safe. I remember Wara was writing letters just for a wellness check. Addie McCauley was putting things out on Twitter and on social media that, listen, government, we just want to do a wellness check. That's it. We just want to make sure that our clients are okay. And they refused. They refused. Again, just to cause intimidation, cause havoc, stress to the family, in which they succeeded. Just a few days ago, somebody, I am unaware who, somebody went to my aunt's house in Sierra Leone and told her that they had busted my father's eyes. In the shock, she died.
Wow.
She died. We just lost our aunt because of this saga from the SLPP government.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Yeah. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I think your father raised you as a strong woman, a disciplinarian, and I believe that this too shall come to pass in a good way. And I do believe that the current administration or the president would not want to leave a legacy of treason, of saying that I am the cause for someone's life. So, and I pray, as that of every concerned Sierra Leoneans around the world that have the best interest of Sierra Leone, irrespective of your political affiliation, I hope and pray that we all join voice and we all are hoping that this will come to an end in a positive way where that man will someday reunite with his family. Now, we touch a little bit about, you talk about Dr. Sylvia Olainka Blyden and your stepmom. What happened that very day? Where was she when basically was it that the police officers them came to her home and arrested her, or was she called to CID? What happened? How did that all happen?
So after the failed attempt on my father's life, the government realized that they had to come up with another plan. So she became the scapegoat. First, they were saying that it was a planned attempt to get my father out of prison. It was, she gave some individuals a gun. It was so much nonsense that this government was spewing. And because of that, and we all know it's true. We know it's untrue. We know it's untrue mainly because of things that the SLPP government have said. Like, they have incriminated themselves. Individuals that were at the prison. Sierra Leone is going through a shutdown. They have curfew. Individuals that were at prison have no business at the prison. At 3 a.m. in the morning, I heard Lawrence Newman gave an interview and said that he got to the prison, I think he said 8 o'clock, whereas his fellow minister said that he got there at 6 o'clock. So who's lying? Did you get there at 6 o'clock or did you get there at 8 o'clock?
Great
what
one.
were you doing there at 6 o'clock?
Yeah.
What was Fatmata
Someone
doing there at 3 o'clock?
Correct.
You all knew something was going to go down because you planned it. But so after the failed attempt, they went to the house, ransacked the house, and they arrested her. They arrested her with no charges. Again, unlawfully detained her. In most countries, you can hold a person for 2 days, 3 days, and then you have to charge them or release them. Whereas the Sierra Leone SLPP government are holding individuals. My dad was held for 10 days before he was charged of treason. Sylvia Blyden was held for 20-something days before charged. My dad's wife was held for 20-something days before charged. Are holding people for weeks before they come up with these bogus charges. So she was home She was home with her son, my little brother, just trying to get through this tough period. And the government sent police to the house to ransack the house and arrest her.
Wow. So, was she also did she also experience the human right violation that you know of while she was there? Was she able to have access to her defense lawyer? Did she have the opportunity to speak with family member? Have change of clothing that you know of?
There were times where they also violated her human rights. There were times where the lawyers would go, where when Wara would go, and they would say that she could not speak to her client. There were times that the sister would go with the lawyer, and they would say that she cannot see her client. So yeah, they did the exact same thing to my father's wife.
If someone was to ask you who is your mentor, who would that person be?
That's a good one. I would definitely have to say my father.
Yes.
Yeah, he has taught me a lot of what I know subconsciously. You know, I have picked up strength, courage, the yearning for knowledge, because my father likes education. Education is important to him. I have become the same way. As an adult, I crave information, I crave wisdom, knowledge. So I would have to say that my father is a big mentor. My mother also. I can't leave my mother out. Love you, Mom. I cannot leave Matilda out. She's definitely a great mentor. Again, both of them have taught me things subconsciously. I have learned. They have been great leaders without necessarily telling me, but showing me what is expected of me and what is the right way to go. So
let's give 10 qualities of your dad that many may not know, or the misconception. Let's clear the misconception, and let's celebrate 10. If you were to describe 10 strengths of your dad or quality of your dad.
Okay, he loves to dance.
Okay.
Especially the electric slide or the electric boogie.
Boogie. We
Yeah,
can
he's
do
very good at
it.
it.
Oh, well, before you go, this dancing electric slide.
He loves family. He loves family. He's a family man. Loves to sit with, and you don't have to be immediate family. You can just be people that have become integrated into the family. To sit down, have conversations, laugh, talk, eat. He enjoys a good laugh. He enjoys making people laugh. He enjoys fashion. Yeah, he enjoys, whether it's dressing up or casual or sportswear, he's fashionable.
Seems
He
to be
likes
seems to be a physically fit, so I assume you love exercise too, huh?
Yes. Oh my God, he loves exercise. Loves to play football. Till this day, he still plays football. He enjoys music. I remember when I was little, he would enjoy when we would have dancing competitions. Something as simple as all of us having a dancing competition. He enjoys reading. Yeah, he likes books. He enjoys helping people. He enjoys being a voice for the voiceless. And I believe that that's what he has committed his life to being, whether it was practicing law in the UK or serving under President Corona for the past 10 years. Like, he enjoys being a voice for the voiceless.
Wonderful. Nice. So now, the sitting president, during his campaign, he proclaimed himself as the father of democracy, and he also made emphasis on things that the then administration was not doing right. So when you look back, if you were to compare the two, and talking about democracy, what does democracy mean to you? And when you look that definition and basically bridge in the gap and connect it with our current state of affair in Sierra Leone, what would you say about democracy and democracy in Sierra Leone?
Well, I would say, Mr. President, if you are indeed the father of democracy, please release the CCTV tapes. Please release the CCTV tapes for March the 19th so that we can see what truly happened. I don't see how he can be the father of democracy when the SLPP continues to infringe on people's rights, infringe on their freedom of speech. Muxon, the individual you just brought up that took food to Sylvia Blyden, he was incarcerated unlawfully. All of these incarcerations are unlawful. Incarcerated unlawfully because he allegedly, and again, these lies are so bogus and so extreme and far-fetched, he allegedly shared a post. I heard, I hope it's not true, because if it's true, we are going to become the laughing stock. I heard that Sylvia Blyden was charged with something to the lines of not liking the president, or there was some words, a way that they phrased it. But you can't lock an individual up because they don't like you. You can't lock up people because they speak against you. I don't see how you can be the father of democracy and innocent Sierra Leoneans are losing their jobs because they don't come from a certain tribe. That's not democracy. That's going backwards. And I'm not saying this because my father is part of the APC, but I don't recall that happening when the APC were in governance. I believe that there were people from different tribes, Mende, wherever, that kept their jobs, regardless of their tribe. I don't see how you can be the father of democracy where how many weeks later, how many months later, you still have not given a statement as far as the innocent 48 individuals that were massacred at Pademba Road by your guards, by your presidential guards. How? Ultimately, myself, most people have a heart for Sierra Leone, regardless of party. I must say, realistically, whether it's the APC party, whether it's the SLPP or another, I want Sierra Leone to grow. I want Sierra Leone to blossom. I want to go back to Sierra Leone and see the Sierra Leone that my uncles and my aunts and my parents have told me about, that had a railroad station and Fobe College, the first university in West Africa. I want to go back to that Sierra Leone. I don't want to go back to Sierra Leone where people are scared to sign a petition in 2020, where people are scared to go to the hospital because they're scared that they're going to get killed for a monetary value. I want to go back to a Sierra Leone where people are getting jobs, quality education, are becoming educated, acquiring knowledge. And honestly, I would love the 2 years that the SLPP and President Bio have. I would love to see those things, because if those things are done, in my eyes, in most of our eyes, it's a testament to Sierra Leone. We want to build houses in Sierra Leone and know that our houses are safe, that there won't be civil unrest and somebody's going to burn your house down. We want to set up businesses in Sierra Leone, but a lot of the time, people in the diaspora, in the Western world, wherever, some are scared to do so because of the civil unrest and the civil unrest that the SLPP is currently causing.
Thank you so much. I know we talked a little bit about, the instability having to do with women or women empowerment, equality for women, women like Dr. Sylvia Olayinka Blyden trying to exercise her right as in freedom of speech, or her as a journalist. Having said that, coincidentally, today I went through some of my old audio, and one of these audio was from last year somewhere, where they were basically commending her effort, where basically she was trying to investigate certain things that are going on, whether it's in the provinces or in the city, basically to bring it to the attention of Sierra Leoneans to see how best they can help whoever is going through that. So I want to play that and then bring you back in so that I can ask you further question having to do with women.
Okay.
Before I begin, I really want to thank Awareness Times. Awareness Times, Sylvia Blyden, because they actually bring and come to our attention. This thing that happened like 2 weeks ago. We not be know about that. It actually tell we say some form of violation don't take place in Boundary Street, and that's what we do about it. So there and then we see the thing on a newspaper, but we hurriedly decide for contact Madam Berry when at the chief we in a part of Sponet, because that then one day we advise her there that this organization will be formed. So he explained the issue to we, and that he said the victim in a hospital na Matrujon. So we hurriedly decide for able for send ambulance for her for bring her at this center now.
What's exactly Paramount Chief say on us apple?
I just want to talk about in house where they destroy, as well as the rape where they rape his sister. I don't want to go into the details because as far as I'm concerned, it's for police for investigation what really went wrong.
You see the victims.
The victim tell we say is something to do with tradition. Traditional thing happen, they run go inside house, but at the end of the day, they kind of broke the house, then go inside, they pull and come out there. At the end of the day, we ask her if he go able to identify any one of them. Say go able to identify one way raper. Say 15-man raper. As how they rape and as so they beat her. If you see they push them now in body. They even they drag her. 15-man is saying that they rape her. This will come out, the other one they can't. Say they hang her. But you know, it's pathetic. When you talk to the woman, you they feel for cry. You as a woman, you they feel her because what don't happen to the woman. Now with the woman, then now we they affect. It happen to every woman because every woman can be a victim tomorrow. But you know what? For me, this is really, really, really inhuman. It's not good for we the woman there. It can happen to anybody. This woman, not a woman, not people born her. This thing don't happen in this country all the time. Now women then are victim. We need for stand up for let we able for say enough is enough.
We see on a press release. So it's inside this press release.
We actually say we want to condemn this act in totality. That it is wrong for what happened to Madam Berry and his sister. And we ask every organization, women's organization, for actually condemn her because it is wrong. This thing don't they happen all the time. That we women there for stand in solidarity, for able for see how best we able for engage government as well as the police institutions there. We're actually responsible for what don't happen for let them do a thorough investigation, and the perpetrators there for bring them to book. Justice must prevail.
So we're not gonna do about the women's center outside this victim they right now. How in conditions are like?
The condition is stable, but the woman don't suffer a lot. The doctor's reports go able for tell, waiting not to everything are able for talk on social media. But as it is, what we are interested in actually the safety of the victim, because we don't want to let this repeat itself. We want for let we take care of the victim, because as far as we concern, every day we go to the victim, we don't make sure say we provide all the necessary things we in need. We in at that center there. We don't even get on telephone so that it will be in contact with we and other people that we in need for talk to. We dey try for see how we go able for engage the appropriate authorities for bring this thing to the attention that something needs to be done.
According to you, say on a go pull a Matrujon hospital, come with her at the Abadi Women's Center. When I don't come with her now, from there I don't make any formal reports to the police, but we see happen as an organization.
Well, we not do actually formal reports to the police. We dey expect when Madam Berry Day under, if we don't do a formal report to the police, but up to this time nothing has been done. They're not able to do nothing whatsoever. Now that's make we self don't say. Let we self take the opportunity for able to engage the stakeholders there, the police as well as through government that we go able for let we able for seek justice.
This is not been 2 weeks now. Police not arrest nobody yet.
No arrest has been done. Nobody they no arrest is. We even they wonder if there's any investigation going on. Now that's make police press release for able for tell government and the institutions that were responsible for actually take up this case, because this case we don't need for left and line, because this involves a whole paramount chief of a chiefdom, Manda Kemo chiefdom. We don't say this government is not responsible government. The government it care about women and it care about the people there. They don't make sure they don't pass a law against rape. And we want to appeal to government since that law we don't pass, let them make sure say, this issue will not happen. Now, Manga Kemo, let them make sure so they really investigate them very well and let them bring the perpetrators to book. Because if they not do that one, then it means they're not going to find justice for the victim. Because as it is now, it can happen to anybody. If we not try for try for arrest all of these issues that they happen, they go continuously they happen. So with the big government, with the big police for actually do their work, and even the gender ministry, because it's about gender issues. I really want for plenty take body women center for where they actually take good care of this woman. And I actually want for thank me members of Spronet, because now we as women there, they try for champion this issue. And I hope say as a team we're able to continue the work what they do for our women in the southern region, and at the same time women all over Sierra Leone.
So, having said that, as you can hear, and the audience say hear, it first commend Dr. Sylvia Olayinka Blyden as a journalist. We basically go and find out about this case where it's in a Banja Kemo. If I did pronounce it right, then forgive me. So basically, the reason why I play that, it also makes some significant points them where it say this administration care about women, and now we just take a little bit trip down memory lane when we talk about series of rape case. Not only this one, where they talk about the post-election violence. You hear about how you call this woman Sata Lamin, where I don't call her name maybe 200 times from the previous platform where I've been there to we on platform now. I don't make series of comments on that. That woman come on the open where a make alleged cases of a series of man them where unfortunately rape and a call upon the government for them help then and remember the names and the faces them. Nothing was done. And then you get the cases, many go ask, say, are we supposed to be fighting, in the case of your dad, are we supposed to be fighting COVID-19, or are we really fighting the main opposition or intimidating people? When you have cases of poverty still they exist, not only for the main opposition, but every Sierra Leonean. You even hear the cries of the current administration supporters or members of the current administration, whether they complain, say, you hear a song where say, now we all been there so far, things like that. So you cannot claim that it's only the opposition are making these allegation or concerns. We also get the case of people them not being able to get them basic commodity, where they talk about inflation, raising in prices, as in the bag rice. When you compare to the then administration, where we ACC boss, I can let for play that as a reminder where he was then when he been the as a member of the Renaissance. It point out all the weaknesses of that administration and concern, where he even urged Sierra Leoneans then say they for stand up for the right things, and for stand up say then deserve more. And when the administration they live up to the expectation of the people, them basically them either they for quit or they for give up, you understand? So when we say certain things, we for able for live by that. So I find that video for be very interesting. I believe say that man, like I can always say, a very promising young man, you understand? But if we are saying something for now we only get what we want, then when we're in that position, we see all these things are happening, and we still, if we cannot stand, but how can we allow citizen for then take the human rights or the right as it has been set forth in the Constitution, for then stand for say the country need to go well, and allowing we get a peaceful protest. Anything violent we do not condone. but anything peaceful, whether it's peaceful protest of political intimidation, political prisoners, you understand? So having said that, what thing that you don't take on the entirety when you talk about the Tombo, the Mile 91, so on and so forth. You also hear the diehard supporters of this current administration will always say, hey, well, this will not happen. What if then president is sack in vice president? But me defense or me statement can always go back to say, when you come in, you say you want to do better, you're a new direction, then you don't learn from those mistakes and you want to go further and basically tell Sierra Leoneans, say, I'm not going to make these mistakes. I'm going to make sure, say, national cohesion will be a priority, oneness and unity for all Sierra Leonean, and fairness for all Sierra Leonean. So, having said that, what you think as a woman living in the United States, wherein you have all this opportunity, if it's not even 100%, but you are also able to have that equal opportunity. If you want to stand as a president, vice president of the United States of America, you're also given that opportunity. You're not going to be intimidated. If somebody call you for an interview, or BBC or CNN, you know, go ask them, say what's in that in political affiliation. I just say make it up. You understand me? It's irrelevant. You get me? How can we live with that bipartisan, or remember, say the green, white, and blue suppress anything else? Come back in there.
So, you know, it's interesting that you asked me that, because I think for me and for, you know, my friends that didn't know that there was a little country in West Africa called Sierra Leone, my friends on Facebook, for other Sierra Leoneans, I think this whole case, this treason case, has been enlightening to all of us, because now this thing has become bigger than my father. Now we are shining a light on injustice, period. Injustices taking place in Sierra Leone. Human rights violations taking place in Sierra Leone. And it breaks my heart. It breaks my heart to know that in this day and age, Sierra Leone still do not have respect for women. Like there are individuals in the continent of Africa that do not know that when a woman says no, it's no. And you know, it's interesting because over here, you could be in the middle of the act, in the middle of a sexual act. As soon as the woman says, no, stop, I don't want it, you stop. Because anything from that point on is considered rape. You know, so to hear on the tape that they didn't even think that the police were investigating, to hear that a young woman had been raped by multiple people and nothing was done, and she could identify some of them and nothing was done, breaks my heart. Breaks my heart. I remember hearing during Michelle Obama's speech years ago, I wish I knew that we were going to talk about this, because I would have researched it, but I can't remember what she said verbatim, but she said something along the lines of a society where their men do not respect and honor their women is destined to fail.
Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely.
And I feel as though that's where we are.
So, sorry, the reason why I bring all these instances, do you think that we energy or we gold for bring about a better Sierra Leone is basically displaced in the wrong direction, meaning the things that we for the focus on, we're not focus on encourage bipartisan, you understand, making sure that, understanding that every country opposition is a must. It help you for do the check and balance, it help you for bring you on your toes, for say that's go motivate me as a sitting government or current government for do better, you understand? But enough will be a competition where would they inflict pain on the past or the future, or Sierra Leoneans were there for speak up. In the case of this audio, the first thing we didn't acknowledge now Dr. Sylvia Olayinka Blyden. So if it wasn't her, we'll bring her to the attention of these said group of women. They're not for be able no say incident like that happen. We then further go and do further investigation for able for try for help than comping woman. So come back in there.
Right, I definitely agree. I definitely agree that we should put everybody, all of us, we should be putting Sierra Leone first, regardless of party. You know, that's what my father did on March the 16th when he went to work with the opposition to eradicate the coronavirus. You know, and I think that more so than anything, I don't think that the current party, the SLPP party, should be so focused on the opposition. You know, like, be focused on bettering the country, be focused on improving the land, be focused on whatever vision you have. That should be your focus. Let people talk. Personally, in my life, I don't think, I don't even hear individuals that don't like me or the quote unquote the haters, because they're irrelevant. I have stuff to do.
I love that.
Yeah, they're irrelevant.
I love
You
that.
know?
You know what? Before you go further, today I have to laugh when I disseminated this flyer and I see the energy of people trying to drag this man and try for question, waiting somebody don't work hard for, just because you not share the same ideology or the same political party. I could not help but just laugh and shy away from those negative energy, because if we take those time and educate the general public, whether it's on COVID things or the reality of what's in the going on with country, call people them on sensitive positions, say right is right, wrong is wrong. I believe so, and we do it sincerely, regardless of we affiliation. I believe say Salone will be a better place. But if you they use your energy for drag somebody down, try for, and this not a case where it cost somebody in life, and you guys are taking it as a joke. So that energy, I was like, wow, interesting. So I just sit down and they observe and say, no, I cannot get myself into this. Because no matter what you do, you cannot convince people that we don't make their mind say, we are going to hate this person or we're going to find all time. But first, the first thing was like, if I go to law school, then when I submit the authentic evidence of him photos them where he graduates, I go to law school, but not be a barrister. So it was like from one thing to another. So I said, you know what, forget it. This not a man will do he earned 3 different degrees in the same field. You understand? So having said that, I like what you say is that they allow because we all get and it's okay for have constructive criticism that need to help you for personal development. That I agree with. But that one way it be say it deliberate just for drag you down. Nobody enough for allow themselves for subjected to such. So come back in there.
Yeah, I completely agree. And and I must say to people, the people who support, the people who hate, doesn't make a difference. But I must say that we are all specifically called to greatness. You just have to find out what your calling is.
Yes.
Whether you like me, whether you don't like me, that's okay. I'm still going to speak life into your life.
I love
that. Because I personally agree that if you are focused on whatever it is that you need to accomplish, you don't have time to sit there and be hateful. Most of the time, when an individual's life isn't fulfilling, that's when you have time to hate and speak negatively and become a Facebook thug and say all sorts of things. No, you have a specific calling. There's something that you are called to do, and the world needs it. Focus on that.
Yes.
I can never be, as much as I sing, I can never be Beyonce. Nobody will ever be me.
Yes.
What I'm supposed to do is what I'm supposed to do.
Yes.
What you're supposed to do is what you're supposed to do.
Yes.
And it's that simple. We should be able, especially, it pains my heart when I hear individuals that have lived in the Western world for decades, for amount of years, say some primitive things. It breaks my heart, because we should be able, regardless of party, to come together.
Absolutely.
We should be able to come together for the greater good.
Absolutely.
The greater good, which is Sierra Leone.
Absolutely.
And as we know, we need women. Sierra Leone cannot thrive and do well with just men and just men leadership.
That's a great point. And what I've seen, the sad part is that I've said this over and over again. They are supposed to be our strongest sex, and they're supposed to be the ones to encourage us, to empower us. You understand? But many a time, I notice that there's a lot of competition. You see men, weak men, compete with female. You understand? If Khadija has a platform, I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing. But everybody have a calling. We all can have a platform, but we all have different calling. You understand what I'm saying? Or if you see Khadija run for political appointment or whatever the case may be, you try to drag her down. In the case of that of Dr. Sylvia Olayinka Blyden, you understand? We are supposed to, and you see people are trying to even question her as a doctor, you know, because you do not share the same ideology. You are supposed to celebrate the strength of that woman, because she does not only represent her family's name, she represents Sierra Leone as a whole. Isn't that a blessing for our country if we are thinking critically and thinking outside of the box? I think we have a call for you. Salon for All, Voice for All Network Television. Kindly identify yourself, please. Okay, the person hang up. Go ahead, madam. Finish your thoughts, darling, before we call it.
Yeah. So, and I think that there are some things that we can learn from the Western world. When the CDC, that was who I was thinking about, the international.
Oh, the person is calling again. I apologize. 1 second.
Okay.
Salon for All, Voice for All Network Television. Kindly identify yourself, please.
Yes, Miss Khadija. Good evening. This is Mohammed Sissele call from Maryland.
Oh, welcome, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
I'm so proud of you as always. You always come with the issues, the current issue that affect the lives, and everything about Sierra Leoneans. I've never been so proud of Mr. Paulo, but today, because I don't listen to him. She's well grounded, she's well obsessed with everything. This is how you measure a man that has a substance.
That's right.
You measure a man from a beginning, from a family, how best they can articulate issues. She's so open-minded, with no grudge, she's so solid and so seasoned, addressing the issues with an open mind, with no grudge.
Yes.
Nevertheless,
and let me say,
what is that as well too.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes. Let me say that I agree with you. Since the minute this young lady and I have been talking and connecting, she's very humble, she's very respectful, she's just a blessing in her father's life. I cannot say, I can go on and on and on. She is a blessing in her father's life. She is.
She's
Yeah,
very,
go ahead.
very seasoned, very articulated,
Yes.
of faith with the issues, respectful, open mind,
Yes.
no grudge, with all what the family has gone through, with all what she has faced within this few months.
Yes.
I just want to ask her, and I'm always apologizing on behalf of well-meaning Sierra Leoneans. I'm openly apologizing for what your family have gone through with this present SLDP regime. You guys don't deserve it. You don't deserve all this. This is very unnecessary. Your dad was willing, and just like what you said, he was forced to serve, and he never knew he was doing it for country. He was doing it out of goodwill to help, to elevate the current pandemic that is ravaging our country right now. I know it was a deliberate plot because he's a solid guy. He's no nonsense guy. He was there to expose. I believe if he was given the chance to lead that EOC, we should have beat Corona by now, because he's a seasoned and very patriotic Sierra Leonean who is ready to do the right thing. So with all that said, I'm just so proud of you. When you see in your mind, we pray that he will be exonerated from all these policies and crazy crimes that they are alleging against. I just want to ask you, do you see yourself being an active politician in Sierra Leone in the near future? Nevertheless, no matter what's the outcome of your father's case right now, whatever happens, do you see yourself with all this quality? Because I'm asking because we need women. The men have failed us politically in Sierra Leone. We need serious sensitive issues like this. So, do you see yourself participating in active politics in Sierra Leone in the near future?
Well, first, let me start by saying, Mr. Cisse,
Yes.
is that your name?
Yes.
Mr. Cisse, thank you so much. I appreciate the compliments. Thank you, sir. I'm not sure if I would see myself being a politician, even though I've studied law and I do enjoy law. I do see myself going forward somehow helping Sierra Leone. I'm not sure exactly what my calling is yet, and I'm not sure specifically in what avenue or what aspect it will be, but I definitely have a heart for Sierra Leone, giving back. Whether it's teaching all the things that I've learned, I'm not sure, but I definitely would love to give back to the great country of Sierra Leone.
Wonderful.
So sweet.
Okay, I just want to add something.
And they hold me tears back, oh, and then they cry right loud. They hold me tears back.
It's emotional.
Yes.
It's exceptionally wonderful.
Yes.
How far have you pursued the issue of this illegal incarceration of your dad in the international arena? Have you made any moves? Have you make it just to expose the human rights abuse and what your family have went through with this dictatorship that is going on right now in our country? Have you able to meet any international organization to pursue the case of your father?
Yes, sir. So my family and I have written multiple letters, whether it is Amnesty International, whether it's the International Criminal Courts, whether it's the British government, British Commissioner, Parliament, even my congressman here. We have definitely wrote letters and we've received responses. And the international community is aware of everything going on, not just with my father, but with the human rights violations that are taking place in Sierra Leone. I'm guessing, based upon the responses that we have received, they are treading cautiously and they are being diplomatic. However, they are very much aware of everything that is taking place.
That's wonderful.
Any more questions, Mr. Muhammad?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because Ms. Khadija already asked the most emotional question that I was going to ask you, the Pademba Road massacre during that moment. Are you able to meet your father as of now? Do you know how he's doing, his current condition? Because people they say they lost his eyes, and the last time he went to the court, he was blindfolded, they covered his face. We don't know his state of condition, health-wise, mentally, how he's feeling. Is he still strong? Is he still, because I know he's a strong guy. Are they able to break him down finally? I don't know. I'm curious to know if you can tell us about the state of condition right now, as of now.
So no, the SLPP government has not broke down my father, and they will never break my father down.
That's wonderful.
Thank you. However, I haven't spoken to him. I believe the last time I spoke to him was the 19th of March. And unfortunately, most of the information that I get are from the lawyer. So he definitely, under the circumstances, he definitely has lost weight. He's in high spirits. He is in the right frame of mind. As a lawyer, he's actually helping his defense team to argue certain points in court. Yeah, so under the circumstances, he is doing well. Life isn't great for him right now, but he definitely isn't broken.
How about your mom? I understand she's your stepmom. How is she coping with all this going on?
It's hard. It's hard for her. It's tough for her. I spoke to her a few days ago. I spoke to her today, but a few days ago when she got home, I called her and I asked her how she was doing, and she said her body was aching, all her muscles were aching, and I said, well, how about my little brother? And
yes, your little brother too, yeah.
Yes, he's only 8. She said, she walked inside the house and he said, oh my God, Mommy, I'm so happy that you're here, and bursted out crying. Yes, and it broke me. I was fighting tears because this little boy has not seen his father in 2+ months.
I know.
Went without seeing his father and his mother
I know.
for a month.
Is there any plan, at least, because that will affect that poor boy so bad? Is there any plan to like have him over in England for the time being? You know, because it's really traumatic. He's too young to go through all this. Both parents they are being, incarcerated, all these things. It's too much on a young boy. I don't know how much family support you guys have back there. Because owing to the current state of condition, the dictatorship that's going on, everybody's scared, Is there any plan, like, through international organizations to like, get the boy out of Sierra Leone as of now, so he can be in his right mind,
As of now, nothing. I'm not sure what the future holds, but as of now, nothing. For now, he's actually coping pretty well. He thought his mother was in the hospital.
Okay.
He now knows that she wasn't in the hospital, but during the process, he thought she was. And he was told that his father traveled. He was told that my dad traveled, but unfortunately, when he got arrested, school was still open. So the school children told him that your dad was arrested. So that's how he actually knows that our father was arrested. But being that he's so young and so innocent, it is taking a toll on him. But I believe that we're shielding and protecting him from real, dramatically taking a toll on his mental state.
Oh my God, I'm so proud of you, man. I don't know what to say. I'm just so proud. I'm so hopeful. I want to thank you for giving us this privilege to be able to see through you the family what they are going through. And I also want to further apologize to you. Sincerely, with deepest from my heart, I'm apologizing for all what your family is going through currently. You guys don't deserve this. This is not right. This is not normal. I hope everything will be fine. I hope your dad will be, come out with all good and in health, good health mentally and spiritually. I really appreciate you. Keep on the good work. You are a wonderful woman, and I want to continue being a wonderful woman. Thank you. I'm so proud of your dad. I've never been proud of him until today. I actually signed a petition. I saw the first video that you made, but today it just said the whole thing. He's a proud. I know he's a proud dad where he is right now. Definitely, he's gonna hear this interview. He will be proud. I know this will keep the spirit up because you are here for him, and I know he's proud of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Cissé. So you're good to go, sir?
I'm good to go, man.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Cissé. Mr. Cissé is one of us. Thank you. So I know you've been there for something before we get the call, and I know I'm ignoring call. So you remember what it is that you've been there try for Express?
I believe I was expressing the fact that, I was saying that one of the things that we can learn from the Western world was that it was the CDC. They were the organization that recommended that my father, that President Bio should call my father and work together as a bipartisan effort. And I think that if we really put party aside and put Sierra Leone first, Sierra Leone would be beautiful again, and it's not too late. It's not too late for the SLPP government to right their wrongs. Whether it is releasing all the political prisoners, dropping all the charges, whether it is spending the next 2 years and focusing on their people. People shouldn't be intimidated. The average citizen should not be scared and intimidated to go to the hospital because they're scared that they're going to be killed in the hopes of collecting money for COVID-19. Like that's not the way our citizens should live. I believe that Sierra Leoneans go through enough. Go through enough. Like there's so much to do, so many basics that we can implement in Sierra Leone, and it doesn't have to be an APC or an SLPP thing. It's funny because I have friends that I had no idea, excuse me, were SLPP supporters because it didn't matter. It didn't matter whether they were SLPP or APC.
Correct.
You know, ultimately we had a heart for Sierra Leone, and that needs to be main focus. Sierra Leone first.
Absolutely. So, I want you to also take this opportunity to, I'm still optimistic and positive about everything, and know that the president is a human being like you and I, and know that he also have a daughter and also have a soft side. So I want you to take this opportunity to speak to President Bill and also the judge that is in charge of this case. Pour your hearts to them and describe your dad in a way that they don't, many of us may not necessarily know him.
So I would ask and I would urge President Bill and Justice Stephen to do the right thing, to do what they know is right. They know and we know that my father did not go into State House with the intention to commit treason or to even hurt anybody. You know, I would ask that all charges be not just dropped but dismissed. I would ask that going forward that we would have a functional judiciary system, because right now, from the looks of things, our justice system does not look functional. You know, I would ask that we somehow reform the criminal justice system. I heard that amongst the 48 prisoners at Pademba that were massacred, that some of them were individuals that were maybe in jail for a crime that they didn't commit, or they were in jail for something small but they weren't able to make bail, so they were sitting in prison for weeks, months, years, or even worse. Individuals that, because the system is so backed up, have not yet had their day in court. Some of them have probably, if they did go to court and if they were found guilty, they have already served 3 times the amount of time that they would have served for whatever petty crime or whatever crime they committed. So I'm asking the president to do better, you know, to remember what it is to be on the outside looking in and have all these great ideas for Sierra Leone and for the people of Sierra Leone and how, you know, you're going to make it better. To go back to that drawing board and make Sierra Leone better, not just for my father, but for the citizens of Sierra Leone. You know, for those of us that live in the diaspora, make it better so that we can be proud. We can be proud of Sierra Leone. We can be proud of the SLPP government. You know, make Sierra Leone great, because the country is definitely beautiful and has potential to do so. We just need leadership. And don't put your focus on the opposing party. That shouldn't be your focus. The focus should be improving Sierra Leone. So that's what I would say.
If we were to turn times back, or we then offer the invitation to your dad, right? Do you think, knowing your dad, do you think he go consider the invitation, or he go still do what he do for go and serve Sierra Leone?
Oh my God, he would do it again.
Okay.
He would hands down do it again. I have never met anybody that is such a strong patriot of Sierra Leone. He would probably leave the gun home or leave it in the car and not allow anybody to wash his car, but he would do it again. for the sake of Sierra Leone. You know, I have to go back into a little history. Some of us may know that this government was the government that overthrew my father's uncle, not his distant uncle, estranged uncle, his mother's brother. It was this government that overthrew him over 20 years ago. After my uncle, President Momo, was president for over 4 years, it was this government that overthrew him, caused him to leave Sierra Leone, died of stress. It was this government, and my family knows that. You know, this government has been terrorizing my family for no good reason, no just cause. And I think in general, Sierra Leoneans are God-fearing people. Whether you are a Muslim, a Christian, we believe in God in whichever form. And you can't destroy greatness. You know, whatever my father is destined to be, that's what he's going to be. You know, even though this government, even though President Bio was a part of this government 20 plus years ago that overthrew his uncle, my father still, for the sake of Sierra Leone, still chose to go to State House in March of this year and work with individuals that overthrew and killed his uncle for the sake of Sierra Leone. The 10 years that my father served under President Karoma, not once did he retaliate on BO or any SLPP individual. His focus was to govern the country and put his best effort forward. So honestly, I would say if we could undo the past few months, my dad would answer the call again for the people of Sierra Leone.
Thank you so much. Before you go,
Yes.
I always like for turn negative into positive. Now we reminisce a little bit for your dad, and I give you a favorite tune before we say goodbye. Thank you so much for your time. But hold on, with the reminisce, think about the good time. Give couple minutes of silence while in favorite tune they play, and then before we call it quits. Okay?
Can I just say one more thing before?
No worry, they come back in before you go. No worry.
Okay.
We know that with anything, there's light at the end of the tunnel. So I just want not only stress about the hard times and all this, the anguish or this entirety don't bring to you and the family. We will continue for remembering prayers, and please go ahead and take the floor again. And also you want to say some more. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I would love to say, please, for those of you that have not signed our petition, please go on to change.org, type in Palo Conte, PALOCONTEH, Palo Conte, and sign and share the petition. Please do so. Change.org, Palo Conte. We are trying to save a man's life. We're trying to save my father's life. You know, and I want people to use their voices in whatever form or fashion you have. Whether it is signing a petition, whether it's sharing a post, continue to use your voice, because your voice does matter. You know, because I know Martin Luther King once said that injustice anywhere is a threat to justice
everywhere. Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
And you know, today it's my father. Tomorrow it's Sylvia Blyden or whomever. We don't know who it's going to be in the future. if the state can afford to go after a high-profile individual like my father, can you imagine the injustices that take place with the regular man? That some that I say I will never hear about and I will never know their names. You know, so please use your voice. Use your voice and remember Sierra Leone first. It's about Sierra Leone. And let's love each other. All this hatred and Facebook thugging that's going on, it's unnecessary. Do something. Use that energy to do something productive for Sierra Leone. Like I just want to quickly say, I forgot to mention this, that you know, under my dad's army regime, he had the soldiers go on peace missions. He had the army get raises. They
I
got
think say one other
uniforms.
call they come for you. Sorry, darling. I'll make you come back. Yes. Salon for All, Voice for All Network Television. Kindly identify yourself. And I know I make a that go today. Go ahead. Yes, there.
This is Mr. Sisse from Canada.
Yes, welcome, Mr. Sisse from Canada. One of our executive member here. Welcome again.
Thank you very much. I want to first of all appreciate now we guess they talk the crew in English, so
yes.
For the listening public, yeah.
No problem.
The very first place I appreciate the kind gesture of the host who you come with today for making for give this kind special time, for articulate issues in a more and perfect and respectful manner.
Yeah.
We are looking out for potential like this to give back to our Sierra Leone. This is why this platform is the best platform as far as I'm concerned. We look at issue, we call it as it is, regardless what you feel, regardless your political status or your connection you have. We don't look at it. We put the issue at the top. We put Sierra Leone number one. Having said that, I want to get one point where my sister make it say it is surprised by people that we don't say now oversee, and at the same time they are not transformed. If you read my post there, I said it does not mean does not mean the length of time you spent in a particular place that makes you to become transformed. It is the process that you've gone through that will transform your life, either positively or negatively. So many people have jumped to overseas, come to overseas, but yet still their attitude are showing that they are not transformed, not at all. So because if you see people who have seen development, who have seen transformation, who have seen human rights to the highest degree, sitting here supporting human rights violation in Sierra Leone, then we'll begin to ask the question, are these people really transformed?
Right.
They are not transformed because regardless the time they have been in abroad or whatever you may call it, they've not been transformed because they that are supposed to be the light, to shed light in Africa and Sierra Leone, they are shedding the darkness again. So it's just like the opposite. That's what is happening. Because you can't look some of in these issues, case like this, the Paulo Contes case, you look at every the human rights abuses that are taking place, people are still in overseas supporting, oh yes, it's true, they have done this to us and we're supposed to do it again. Come on.
Yes.
Is Sierra Leone a playing ground? Then what makes this new direction new? There's nothing new. In fact, they've done the worst ever. So sometimes, not until we stand for the truth, nothing but the truth. Somebody once says the truth does not have any other name. Truth is just truth. Say it as it is there. You can't, say somebody is guilty of this particular crime where there's a video camera that they are recording everything and you don't want to come out to the video.
Right.
Can you imagine this kind of thing? So sometimes I don't know. Then what is the essence of the video camera in the place for?
Exactly.
I don't know why we are wicked. This is the thing. We are wicked as Sierra Leoneans. We don't just want to see certain people succeed in life.
Yeah.
That's the thing for me. That's what I'm seeing in this entire show.
Yes.
What's the delay in all this thing? It's just to find means at which they can, okay, this for this point you want to indict this. It's just, my God, sometimes I feel the pain. Look at the young boy there crying for his dad. Do you know the emotional effect? It's not important to other people because it's not their child. May God help Sierra Leone. Thank you very much, my sister. We pray that the truth will reveal and nothing will change the truth in that particular country, in that particular case. Our dad, our brother, because that man is a model in that country. Let no one fool you. He is a model.
Amen.
When he stood his ground, I could remember when I was there. When he stood his ground, he said, look, this stabbing and all this thing must stop. I tell you, it stopped with immediate effect. Nothing changed. That's the type of people we are looking for. Not somebody that will say one thing today and doing the other thing the other day. And not until we get this type of people in Sierra Leone, we will not move forward. I always say this in this media, for me, development is my key priority. And that's what I studied. And that's what I will continue to advocate for. If Sierra Leone is developed and all these things, this case would have ended long since, because the camera is there. Go through the camera and just read this thing and out. What are we delaying this thing, pushing this, procrastinating, just to find issue out of something that is not there?
Yes.
May God help us, my sister. God bless you, and God will protect our brother, our daddy, for us in Jesus' name.
Thank you. Amen, sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Cisse. Always a blessing to hear you contribute to significant issue. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah. All right, there. Yes, so I want to know you go ahead and finish your thoughts before we say good night.
Okay, so I was saying that, under my father's regime, the army was paid on time. If there was any delay, they got additional bags of rice. He signed contracts to improve and develop the military barracks. He elevated the morale of the army football team. At Christmas time, I used to love this. This would be my favorite time of the year. We would go to the village, and my father would get a big hall, a DJ, get the women to cook, kill a cow, kill this and that, and host a party for all the children in the village. And it was mesmerizing. The best day of my life was to give. We would do that every Christmas. Children would come would walk 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, just because they knew that Christmas Day, my father was going to throw them a party. And it was priceless. Priceless to see our future, the next generation dancing, eating at ease, having fun, getting party packs, drinking Capri Sun juice, playing with each other. Priceless. My father is a man that would go to where the disabled individuals are or where they stay and would give them money. We would take pictures with them, would at Ramadan give food. I believe there's a video out of food to the local mosques. He would have done the same this year if it wasn't for the fact that he was being illegally detained. So I ask that the government of Sierra Leone please release my dad and drop the charges. We know these are bogus, fished up charges. We had last week, just a few days ago, witnesses on the stand messing up their testimony, saying one day that they did one thing, one day they saw my dad, the next day saying that they really didn't see my dad, but yet still they're testifying that he was trying to commit treason. Another witness that said that there was no light, but then turned around and said, okay, we did have light and there is a CCTV footage. Another individual that gave their statement, that said that they gave their statement at the State House, but gave their statement at CID. Just this whole week, if we read the transcripts that have come out from court, there has been so much conflicting information. Somebody that said that the gun wasn't licensed, but now they have found out that it's licensed. So I'm asking the Sierra Leone government to do the right thing. To do the right thing, make history. Make history and right your wrongs. Because right now, you are making history, but it's not the type of history that us as Sierra Leoneans want. Again, Sierra Leone first, excuse me. I love you all. Stay safe, stay blessed, stay positive. Hate is too much of a heavy burden to carry. Love you guys. Mwah, 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 mwah.
We love you the most. We love you the most, darling. And having said that, thank you for your time. We'll someday celebrate more of him. We pray that everything comes to pass. And let's stay optimistic. We know say the president himself, Namota man, he gets hot. And he go look through this thing and puts this thing to an end. Then this man come back home to his family. Having said that, on behalf of Salon for All, Voice for All Network Television, I did take this opportunity for say plenty thank you to you. Your father will forever remain be proud of a wonderful soul that you are. A good representation of Mr. Paulo, retired Major Paulo Conte. Thank you, darling. Salute.
Thank you, Khadija. Thank you for the platform. I appreciate you.
Always welcome. This is home for you at any time. And similar to you, with a gets Miss Kamara himself, when himself in Papa Day in similar situation. And again, I take you out with your daddy in favorites, and then we'll call it a wrap. Good night, darling.
Bye.
Thank you. Guys, we'll take a break and come right back.
The people want change. The people are tired of the suffering of paying for a bag of rice at 200,000 from only 60,000 in 2007. The people want democratic change to end their suffering. But what type of change do we want for this great nation? What type of change do we want for our children's future? What type of change? The people want change. The people are tired of the suffering of paying for a bag of rice at 200,000 from only 60,000 in 2007. The people want democratic change to end their suffering. But what type of change do we want for this great nation? What type of change do we want for our children's future? What type of change? The people want change. The people are tired of the suffering of paying for a bag of rice at 200,000 from only 60,000 in 2007. The people want democratic change to end their suffering. But what type of change do we want for this great nation? What type of change do we want for our children's future? What type of change? The people want change. The people are tired of the suffering of paying for a bag of rice at 200,000 from only 60,000 in 2007. The people want democratic change to end their suffering. But what type of change do we want for this great nation? What type of change do we want for our children's future? What type of change? The people want change. The people are tired of the suffering of paying for a bag of rice at 200,000 from only 60,000 in 2007. The people want democratic change to end their suffering. But what type of change do we want for this great nation? What type of change do we want for our children's future? What type of change? The people want change. The people are tired of the suffering of paying for a bag of rice at 200,000 from only 60,000 in 2007. The people want democratic change to end their suffering. But what type of change do we want for this great nation? What type of change do we want for our children's future? What type of change? The people want change. The people are tired of...
Welcome back to Salon for All, Voice for All Network Television. As soon as know, we just welcome once again to Salon for All, Voice for All Network Television. And I thank you for the patience, and thank you to Miss Conte. We also go join we back at the end of this interview. For now, we'll all go say a final goodbye before we call it quit tonight. Once again, similarly to that of Miss Conte, we get with we in the studio, Miss Kamara. We at the pause here for introduce himself. We happen to be the daughter of Professor Sheikh Umar Kamara. Welcome, Miss Kamara. Welcome to Salon for All, Voice for All, Network Television. Like I tell Miss Conte, this is not home for you. Just imagine, say, we're in Florida in a beach, and we're just having a girls' talk. So feel comfortable, make yourself at home, and you're welcome here at any time. Welcome there.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. So now introduce yourself to the world. For those who don't know you, give yourself the background of who you are and a bit background of your dad. But first, start with the introduction of yourself.
Well, my name is Zainab Kamara, and I'm the daughter of Professor Sheikh Umar Kamara and Dr. Marie Kamara. We live here in Virginia. I live about an hour from my parents. They live in the capital city in Richmond, and I live a little bit outside of Charlottesville. Our family's been in America since 1989 when I was very young. And he just recently decided to go and facilitate some projects in his hometown in Lonsar within the last year.
So wonderful. So before you get into that, right, let's start step by step. So obviously you also joined your parent. What year is that? What year was that?
1989.
Okay, so you were born in Sierra Leone, just as that of Atilda, but at a young age, you guys migrated to the United States, obviously for better opportunity, so on and so forth. So while in the United States, your father further his education as well as that of your mother. So let's give a background of that as well before we get into the now. Let's go back to then.
Mm-hmm. So we came on a student visa. My dad was attending University of Wisconsin at Madison. He was pursuing his PhD in linguistics. He graduated from that program, I believe, in 1993 or 4. I was about 6 or 7 when he finished that program. He taught at University of Wisconsin briefly as a teacher's assistant and thereafter graduating. And then since that time, he's pretty much exclusively worked full-time at HBCUs. So he taught at Shaw University in North Carolina, and he's currently a tenured professor at Virginia State University. And he's also the chair of that department.
Wonderful. So what can you say about your dad's career path? Is it something that he enjoyed doing? Does he love being a professor? Let's hear that.
So my dad is naturally an educator. He is an orator. He loves to be around people. He loves to share knowledge. He loves to gain knowledge. So his career is a pretty impressive 40-year educational career. He's very unique in his career choice or how he manifests it. He has always made it very clear to my siblings and I that he's very proud of being Black. He's very proud of being African. And outside of being able to teach in Africa, we got stuck here because of the war. Outside of that, he has always dedicated his academic talents to teaching in HBCUs exclusively. So he is a uniquely principled man.
So basically, from what I'm hearing, he basically encouraged you guys to embrace who you are as an African American, or more importantly, as being an African. So that's a beautiful thing. So now let's go. I also heard that your mom is also a doctor, if I'm not mistaken. So enlighten us on that a little bit further.
So my mother is a nurse. She is a nurse practitioner and became a DNP almost 10 years ago now. So she holds a doctorate in nursing, and she did her dissertation on, I believe, kidney disease and function. So they both have PhDs. Education has always been a very pivotal part of our life and our lifestyle. And I'm very proud of their accomplishments.
Wonderful. So now let's go back, fast forward. He already invested 40 years into being a professor in the United States of America. How did he make that transition from being a professor to when he decided to accept the position as SL Mining, correct? Director or the leader of the SL Mining, if I'm not mistaken. Please give us better clarity on that.
So he is the community liaison for SL
Community
Mining.
liaison, okay.
They operate in his hometown of Lone Star, and they called on him to manage the projects that SL Mining has as an initiative to develop the town, using some of their profits, obviously. So he accepted that because it was in alignment with a project that he and my mother have started. They are building University of Lone Star in that same town. So it was almost as if it was destiny that as they're opening this institution, there's an opportunity for him to accept a community service position that would also help to develop his town. So that's how he got on this path, I'd say.
Okay, so was it like someone called him and offered the job to him, or he just applied for the job? How did that came about?
I honestly am not totally aware
of the details. Okay.
Yeah, of the details. I know it was an exciting time. At that time, I was like freshly postpartum, so I wasn't too keen on how he got that position. But they were both very excited about it, especially given the timing. As I said, they're opening that university. I doubt that he applied for it, but I don't want to speak to anything I'm not totally certain of.
Correct. So now, how long has he worked in that capacity?
A little over a year now.
A year. A year or 8 years?
No, a little over a year.
A year.
So
okay.
So starting early 2019, I'd say.
2019. Was he ever a politician?
Oh, no.
Okay.
No. My dad loves politics and sociology and intellectual discussion of any kind, but he's always been very deliberate about expressing not wanting to be a part of the political system.
Okay. So now let's take it fast forward for the viewers, not to bore them. How did this come about? What happened? What happened on the said date or that day where he was was it arrested or he was invited to CID? Let's take it step by step so that way the audience can get a better understanding.
So he was invited by the CID to answer some accusations tied to a riot that happened late in April. He came on his own accord on Wednesday, June 3rd, to give a statement. He arrived, he waited some time, he provided his statement, and at the end of it, they said, we choose to detain you. So he was detained. He spent the night at CID headquarters in Freetown, under the guise that they wanted to complete the rest of his statement. So the next day, they also collected more of a statement, I believe, and they decided to keep him that night as well. So he's been in custody since Wednesday, June the 3rd.
Can you give us a clear clarity in terms of what the allegations were? Why was he invited to CID or detained? What was this said allegation?
So to be quite transparent, I can't speak with confidence what the actual allegations are as to what was printed in the paper that we saw. But as far as the context and the background information, I have very little understanding of how all of that transpired. But there was a newspaper clipping that we saw, someone sent to us, and it said wanted, and it listed my father's name and several other names for charges ranging from inciting a riot, arson, murder, and those are the three that are outstanding to me. But it was in a paper. He was never called upon at his home. From what I understand, he was never solicited via telephone. That was just printed in the paper. And once he was made aware of it, he made the necessary appointment to go give his statement.
Okay, so he volunteered and went in person. So having said that, does he have any knowledge having to do with this said allegation, and as in the example of the Tombo saga and all the other? Absolutely not. Okay. So when he was detained, what else happened?
Well.
Oh, did he? Okay, let's take it step by step. When he went there, he decided to voluntarily go there in person to answer to the said allegation, right? That was put on the newspaper. From what you were saying, was it that he was hoping that he was going there to give statements and then be released back home, or what was his expectation of the CID?
Yeah,
or the, okay.
That was the expectation. The pretense was that he would go, he would provide a statement, answer their questions fully, and then that he would be sent back home. There was no reason for us to not believe that. And obviously that is not what happened.
So when he went there, he made it clear that he has no knowledge of what he was being allegedly saying, that he was part of the planning of the Tombo incidents, blase, so on and so forth. So he made it clear to them, but yet still he was detained, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, was there any statement given to him as to why he was still detained, regardless of the fact that he made it clear that he has no knowledge of what he was being held for?
No, that was never really made clear. From what I understood, they do have the right to detain someone for up to 72 hours until they are ready to press formal charges. Mm-hmm. So with that knowledge, we just as a family acquiesced, and we quietly said, okay, if this is what the law allows, we have faith that they will follow this protocol. So we didn't make too much noise. We understood that we'll just wait till Saturday when we hit the 72-hour mark and see what happens from there.
So let's go now to the 72 hours later. Mm-hmm. Like you were saying, you were open in the justice system, the justice system will not fail your family. And it's the reason why you guys were patient until Saturday, 72 hours later. And what was said to him then?
It wasn't much. It wasn't that something was said. It's really what was not said.
Okay.
Basically, it's now the weekend, and I mean
so today's Monday.
It was a stalling tactic. It felt like, it's no longer a business day. There's no reason to be expedient about his release. So we weren't told, oh, we're going to detain him. We just weren't really communicated with. Okay. Everyone just, including his representation, just said, let's table this until Monday. Monday he will certainly be released. There's no reason to detain him if they're not going to press charges. And even if they are, they have the option and the prerogative to grant him bail, and he can still be released. So that's what we are now waiting for.
So now this is Monday, and for Sierra Leone it's already Tuesday. Was he granted bail, or was he released? Of where are we at this present time?
He's still detained. He's not. Discussion of bail has not surfaced. Discussion of charges has not surfaced. So we are hoping that tomorrow there'll be less stagnation and maybe a decision about how to move forward.
Wonderful. So many will attest that they heard some audio from your mother pleading and her heart, and basically pouring her heart and pleading to the justice system back home to expedite your father's release. Can you enlighten us on that? What urged her to do that, or what triggered her to do that?
I think the worry of any wife. I can't imagine that I would do anything much different, especially given the fact that she's across the world from him. She cannot see him. You know, it's been several months. There is a pandemic also concurrent with this situation. She's afraid. She's afraid. She is worried. And I can't imagine that any woman with a husband wouldn't be.
Absolutely. So take this opportunity to give us an insight of your dad in terms of his personality, and connect it with what he's been accused of, so we can get a better picture of who Professor Kamara is.
So anyone that knows my dad knows that he's a jokester. I can't really even talk about him without smiling, because every time you see him, that's the first thing you're going to see is him smiling and cracking a joke. And maybe the joke is about you, maybe it's just a joke, but he's a very warm and comforting and kind soul. He's very direct. He's very frank. He's very honest. He can tell people the most uncomfortable of truths, and it might take you a while to understand that he just read you, but he's awesome at doing that. He's incredibly principled. He raised us to be sharp, critical thinkers, to be really compassionate, to pay attention to what other people need and how you can be of service. He and my mother have taken their personal retirement income to go home to build these institutions to be of service, because they understand that they are incredibly fortunate and blessed to have been able to come overseas to study and to build the life that they did. And they both feel a great responsibility to do something wonderful for Sierra Leone. So the idea that he could be involved in anything violent is totally antithetical to who he really is. I mean, and you don't have to know him well or for long to know that.
Well stated. So let's go back to what you just stated in terms of the investment back home. What actually motivated them or inspired them or made them decide that going back home, giving back home, is also equally important to that of them staying here in the United States? And what was those investment for some of us that may not be aware of those investment or development? Yeah.
If anything triggered them, I think that was always the plan. My parents are the most progressive people I have ever seen in my life. They came here for a very specific objective, and the only reason they stayed here is because of the war. You know, their full intention was for him to get his PhD and for us to go back. But by the time he had graduated, the war was raging and they had 3 small children, so they couldn't go. So I don't think anything inspired them or triggered them. That was always the plan. It was just delayed. And as soon as they were able to execute that plan, that's what they started doing.
Okay. So what was those investment they made home?
So University of Lone Star is obviously a university that they have spent their own money and the donations of a wonderful Sierra Leonean community in the diaspora. And they've put up most of their buildings. They've put up a dormitory, lecture halls. They've completed a clinic. They have a hospital. And they also intend to put up a vocational school. All of this in hopes of training the people in Sierra Leone and developing businesses that can create infrastructure and really pull our people out of poverty with our own effort, you know. And that might sound grand and that might sound impossible, but these are the people that raised me, and it's a palpable goal to them.
Wonderful. If, as a daughter, what is your main concern about your dad? at this present moment?
My main concern is his health. You know,
Yeah.
not a young boy again,
Yes.
and this is, you know, where there is a pandemic still going on, and he had actually been self-quarantined in my parents' home in McKinney since March the 14th or 15th, I'd say. So June is the first month that he has really ventured out to any place that's significantly far from their home. And that's, you know, under the strict orders of Mrs. Kamara, who also is worried about his health. So I think as a daughter with, you know, his grandchildren here running around, I worry most about his health, and that he will be able to, you know, to return with a sound mind and a well body.
Okay. So yeah, with our preliminary interview, you did make it clear there was some underlying issue having to do with your father. Hence the reason why you're very much concerned, equally as that of your mother. So if you were obviously the president will listen to this, take this opportunity to say a word or two to him. Again, like I said with Miss Conte, I do believe that the president is a human being like you and I, and instead of gets some side paying hats we soft, and it gets gal picking them, we love them equally as that of how we self love with daddy then, whether I'm your late daddy and you on. So take your time, now you give an insight of who that your papa be, and what you would like for in do in terms of make you for expedite the process for your papa return back to you now.
If I could say anything to the president, I don't imagine to know what your job is like or how difficult and complex politics are. But as she stated, I know say you're a human being. You don't born picking them. And there has to be something in you that knows that there must be a humane and fair and compassionate way to execute your duties as the president. If anyone were slandering you or if anyone were preventing you from doing your job as president, I promise you my dad would be the first person to speak up for you. Whether or not you are of his party, I know that he would do that because his principles are that unshakable. So whatever the issue is, whatever the charges are, we believe in democracy, we believe in due process, and we believe that you are a righteous president and that you will be able to resolve this quickly and painlessly for all of us. And remember that he has a family back home, that he's not just a person there, a random person there being detained, that he's not something to use as leverage. He's a human being with people who love him.
How is your family coping? Oh, we're having a call right now. Hold on. Salon for All, Voice for All Network Television. Kindly identify yourself, please.
Yes, Ms. Khadija, this is Mohammed again from Maryland.
Okay, Mr. Mohammed, wonderful.
Yes.
Okay, welcome again, sir. Welcome, sir. Land to your statement.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Yeah. This program is really a very, very interesting program that you are bringing up today.
Yes.
This is just a way to expose this government to see how they are so blinded, how they have skewed this country, they have relegated this country to a dictatorship. First of all, I want to kindly thank my sister over there for her presentation, and I just want to ask one of my first question is, was your father really arrested because they arrested him because they said he inciting violence at Lausanne? Was that why he was arrested? Or
that's actually not clear. We really don't know. Other than, you know, what I mentioned that's in the newspaper clipping, we haven't gotten any formal word from anyone what he is actually being detained for.
Thank you, dear. Secondly, my appeal here is to Ms. Khadija. We have no president. This is, we are living in a democratic state. He is not a dictator. He is not the most powerful or extraordinary. He is living, is governing us with the constitution. Under the everybody have your right. This is just, it is really sad of the state of condition. Look at this professor here with all his good intention. They have worked so hard. They have achieved a lot from this country. They are going back to pay back to the country. Look what they have gone. This is what the government is paying them just because the government is intimidated. This is really wrong. This is not right at all. Look at what this poor lady and her family are going through. You know, the guy has his grandsons here, grandchildren, his children here, the wife is here. They are going through a whole lot of traumatic moments right now, worrying about their father and their grandfather right there. They have not done anything. Both men have not done anything wrong. Somebody said they give no mercy from President Bill. President Bill is we give him the right to govern us under the Constitution. He has no arbitrary power to incarcerate any Sierra Leonean, meaningful Sierra Leonean. Meaningful Sierra Leonean like these people. You know, they have good intentions for that country. They have achieved a lot in life. They want to give back to the country. Why are they subject to this inhumane behavior? They are just impersonating people that have good intention for that country for no good reason because they are intimidated. You know, I feel so sorry for you, my sister. I mean, my heart goes to you. I'm always continue to apologize on your behalf. You know, we have failed. We the men, we have failed this country. We have failed a lot. I pray and I hope that your father will be exonerated because he is a good man. He is an administrator. He is a good man. He is an asset for that country. We need him. We need him more than you guys need him. And we're going to join you. We're going to blow this problem to the international world. We're going to say it. We are not intimidated. We are not scared. We're going to put it out to the international world to know that his government is incarcerating meaningful Sierra Leoneans that are ready to help that country, move that country to another level. And we are with you. We are with you in spirit. We are with you in prayers. And we will fight with you tooth and nail to see that these men are free from this unlawful and bogus charges that they are going through. So I pray that everything goes well with you and your family. And we are here. We are still with you, okay? We will fight with you to the end.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Mr. Sise. Any more? Or are you good to go?
Well, I'm just concerned about the family welfare as of now. What you guys are going through, you know. Like, are you able to talk to your dad? Or do you guys have any access? Are you able to reach him? Do you know his state of condition right now?
Yes, we're able to reach him sporadically. My mother mainly speaks with him on the phone. I don't know how many times they've spoken. I've spoken to him once, and he sounded very encouraged, and he did very well to comfort me. But yeah, he's okay. My mother she's struggling with it. You know, they have a beautiful marriage and a beautiful friendship. That's her best friend, and she's really feeling it. She's really feeling it.
So how is your mom coping and your children too? How are they coping with their grandpa being incarcerated in Africa? You know, how is the family going through?
The family is strong. The family has really rallied together. My aunts and my uncles and my cousins and my siblings, they have been incredibly emotionally supported. They've been, I mean, I can't tell you how comforting it is to be from a big African family. I mean, they have really come together. Aunts from all over the world have called me and comforted me. They send me memes and encouraging prayers. I mean, the family has really come together. So that's definitely sustaining me personally, and I know it definitely sustains my mom as well.
Okay. Do you guys have any plan? Does he have any competent legal representation right now, or do you have people that are taking up his case?
Yes, he has great representation right now that are work closely with my mom and our cooperative, and they're very kind in how often they report on his condition and his surroundings, but he does have representation.
That's wonderful. So once more, on my own behalf and on behalf of every meaningful Sierra Leonean, we are so sorry for what your dad is going through right now. We are with you. We are ready to fight with you. We are ready to shout. We are ready to expose the injustice that this government is putting meaningful Sierra Leonean like your dad. Asset, your dad is an asset to that country. We are ready to fight with you in any shape or form. You are not alone. We are with you in this fight. God bless you and God bless your family too.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Sise, you're always a blessing to this. Of course, you're not part of the platform anyway. So I know what say plenty. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. I have an apology for you too. We'll talk about that later.
Okay, sir. Thank you. It's okay.
You're welcome.
All right, sir. God bless. Yeah. Yes, Miss Kamara. So I know say you've been there. Try for educate we on your dad. So go ahead, please, in personality and all that good stuff. Come back in.
Yeah. So I feel like I had given a good synopsis of him. He's a warm guy. He's an intellectual. He's an honest guy. He is a transparent guy, and everyone that knows him, anyone that talks to me, I can hear in their voice how pained they are. You know, like if there's anyone that this should not happen to, and not that anyone at all deserves it, but if there is anyone, you know, this is that guy. Sheikh Umar is that guy. So it is all very, very heartbreaking, very stressful.
Yeah. So finish your thoughts now with speaking directly to the President of the Republic of Sierra Leone, having to do with this particular case with your dad. Go ahead and make your case.
I think the last thing I would say to him is that the world is definitely changing. If you're watching what's going on around the world with protests and defunding of police, and people generally standing up and understanding that we deserve to live well. It is no nation's destiny to be poor. This is a truly historical moment, and I think President Bio has a choice to make on what side of history he wants to land, because, you know,
yes,
it's not just his legacy, it's Sierra Leone's legacy as well. You know, it would be unfortunate to mortgage this country's future for a temporary gain. You know, ultimately all of us will be held accountable. So it's not just that because he's president, but all of us will be held accountable. And this is the time to make a choice of what side you serve. And I hope that he makes the right choice.
Well stated. I'm going to take us to a quick commercial and we will be right back. Thank you.
Good morning, compatriots. My name is Francis Ben Kaifala and I am Renaissance. The Sierra Leone Renaissance movement has called on fellow Sierra Leoneans to wear black on Monday. We call it Black Monday. It's a Monday where we are supposed to show our dissatisfaction at the way the country has been run. Since independence to date, the Sierra Leonean has had a life that is less than what we would desire. We wake up in the morning worrying about the basic things that the rest of the world has forgotten. We worry about electricity, we worry about water supply, we worry about food, we even worry about security. Successive governments have failed us. This is the time for the Sierra Leonean to refuse to accept less and request more. We have to show our leaders that poverty is not a way of life. It is something which is man-made, and men all over the world have fought to change it. In Sierra Leone, it seems things cannot get better. Why? Why do people vote governments? Governments are voted to make the lives of their people better. If they cannot make their lives better, then that is a failure of social contract. And when there is a failure of social contract, the counterparties, in this case, who are the people, need to demand from their governments that what is done is not what was agreed. We have to stand up for what we believe in. We cannot accept this way of life. We have to reject it. In recent times,
welcome back to Salon for All, Voice for All Network Television. We don't bring back the beautiful ladies them. For now, we give a closing remarks. We go start with Miss Kamara. What do you want to say as your last statements before we go? And then we'll go bring Miss Atilda again back in.
I just want to invite all the Sierra Leoneans of the diaspora, especially of my generation, all of us between 15 and 45, to start paying attention to what's going on in our country. I feel an incredible amount of guilt that now waiting old me papa, I'm beginning stress. I wish I had been paying attention. I wish that all of us had been paying attention so that there was an organized voice to hold these people accountable. And I think if there's any time, this would be the time. 2020 is the year of clear vision. I think a lot of people are waking up. We're seeing that all over the world. So I just implore everyone, my father is all about justice. So I just want to ask everyone to start paying attention and bringing your voices together and holding these people accountable.
Wonderful. Well stated. Having said that, come back in, Miss Conte, and give you closing remarks.
Quick thing that I forgot to mention. So, as far as the judge, what if you were to exclude all the journalists and just allow the judge, the jury, and the lawyers to see the videotape? If you are worried about national security, that is also an option. But to everybody out there, I just want to say that be a part of the change. Be at peace. Be a part of the peace. And remember that we all make a difference. We are all destined and called to a specific purpose. Let's execute and let's make that happen. Let's make things happen for Sierra Leone in our lives personally. And lastly, let's put Sierra Leone first. I love you all.
We love you right back. Having said that, we want to take this opportunity for say plenty thank you to our viewers then in our way make comment to not able get to forgive we in our way call we executive members that we call the two Mr. Cisse, one from Maryland, one from Canada. We appreciate Ina always. Without after God, without Ina and the viewers them, there's no Salon for All, Voice for All Network Television. We top fan them with the telling a plenty thank you. I always they give kudos and salutes to United Kingdom where they always they sacrifice their time and sleep for make sure say then they part of this platform, and in already around the world from Germany to Paris, you name it, different places them, of course the Republic of Sierra Leone, and we all within IASON at the United States of America. I want to take the opportunity again for take plenty thank you on behalf of Salon for All, Voice for All Network Television for tell them two beautiful, wonderful products of Sierra Leone, the daughter of one strong man them, we then come here, then speak on behalf of them daddy. Words cannot even express how much I'm proud of Ina, and I shall say the nations, of course, all the audience and beyond the Sierra Leone community will be proud of Ina. And of course, we use the bilingual approach today. We're not limited to only with community, so many people that will benefit from this interview. Having said that, until next time, this is Salon for All, Voice for All Network Television. I am your host, Khadija Tijan Nabi. God bless we all, and God bless the Republic of Sierra Leone. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.